Hello, hello, hello. I think we are just about ready to get started here. Qualifying is over. Had a red flag from the fire. Luckily, nothing that really delayed my stream here. Hello, Lando. Hello, Edster. Nice to see both of you. We are going to get started on the second half of Season 7. We have Mexico waiting just around the corner. The summer break has ended. And the AI has 2 months to develop. Spice things up just a little bit. Hello, Cosby. I see you. Did you rush back from your trip? I hope you didn't. Hope you had fun. Well, you said you did. But yeah, we are gonna get started here. Basically, currently the scores are a little bit inaccurate because there is one race missing. We'll be adding that at the end, particularly on Discord. But as things stand right now, we have 3 teams that are very, very competitive. They're separated by just 2 points. With that in mind, it should be a fun second half of the season, where we will be going to Mexico, which is going to be wet. We're going to Baku, to Melbourne, and to Brazil. That should shake things up just a little bit, I think. Just like car analysis, I think this is what most people are worried about, where they line up on the grid. How everyone is going to perform. We'll be taking a look at that before we get started. Had a lovely early birthday present yesterday from work. They fired me. That sucks. Hope you find a better paid and a job you'll enjoy more. That's screw them basically. But yeah, that's a bad present. Not gonna lie. But yeah, Ferrari. Probably one of the best cornering grids teams on the grid right now. They suck at top speed, but they make up for it with basically being the best cornering team at the moment. Should expect some good performances from them. McLaren isn't super far behind and does have top speed advantage. Basically, we're getting a little bit of a fight of that. We can see here from basically first to last, it's very, very close in the car stats still. It is a very, very close fight. Red Bull, a little bit further down the grid. Best in class when it comes to speed, worst in class when it comes to cornering, basically. Well, not really worse. There is a car that is worse, but not the best ever. Mercedes has the upper hand in top speed and cornering, but apart from that, not really much more going for them compared to the Ferrari here. Can probably catch them, though, with a little bit of work. The Alpine is, unfortunately, not expect to score points. They have tire preservation there as their sole advantage as things stand. Not the best. The Williams car, in a very similar boat, they have the worst low-speed cornering. They have very bad top speed. Generally, the AI has not developed this car in a good way, unfortunately, for the Williams team. They're not going to have a very good time, I think, over the next couple of races. As currently is kind of suffering a very similar fate. Their cornering has gone out the window. And they are still not super far behind in anything that isn't, high-speed cornering. But yeah, the AI has done some very, very interesting stuff here, particularly for Ferrari. Ferrari's been given a boost. I've checked. It's not anything that isn't legal. So the AI has just developed Ferrari perfectly. Somehow. They don't usually do that. And also, Sauber here is going to be a very interesting contender because they have low speed, they have medium, they're lacking a little bit in high speed, but they have even beat Ferrari out in dirty air tolerance. So I'm curious how this speed advantage is going to work out versus the top speed. I think still Ferrari will be a stronger car. Finally, we have Aston, the best DRS team. They invest a lot into that, but they are lacking cornering as a result. Hello, Doc. Terrible quality for Williams. It happens. Everyone has bad days. Hello, David. What am I seeing here, Nero? You're seeing the Alpine downfall. I assume this is what you wanted to see, Lando. Enjoy it. No points? The hype was not intended hype. You're cooked, my friend. Probably the level 5 factor in the first 4 races. The thing here is that after... I'm going to clear this up because I kind of forgot about that myself. So facilities-wise, the Ferrari team invested in a level 5 factory. which gave them a edge in the first 4 races here, or rather 5. Well, 4 really. And I realized that I completely forgot about just how bad the AI is at manufacturing parts. So I set everyone's factory to level 3, including the Ferraris, and I did that 2 months ago. So basically the AI has now had 2 months without races, with an upgraded factory to catch up on parts, and everyone does have the newest parts finished. So basically everyone's car is as upgraded as it can be for the situation. And basically Ferrari, who had to forgo their factory advantage, was allowed to put that advantage into a different building. So basically everything is still on board with that. But yeah, the AI now has spent the last 2 months making parts. So in essence, everyone should have a better place now to fight from. Yes, everyone should congratulate David on his birthday. Happy birthday, David. I hope hype was not intended. Not indeed hype. I read that as intended, thinking he was being sarcastic, Lando. We evolved from a French hamster wheel to a French baby stroller. Yeah, you're making progress. Hello, Mike. It's going good. It's still unbearably hot here today. We're supposed to get lightning tonight. So that could get interesting. Maybe I'll at one point disappear because the lightning takes my electricity. But if I do, now you'll know why that would happen. Also, there is another problem that has been going on today, and that is the fire alarm has been going off about 3 times. There is some donut up a couple of floors above who keeps on burning his food, I believe. So if the fire alarm goes off, no worries. I'm just going to have to evacuate for a little bit. I'll probably mute my microphone so you don't get deaf. But if I vanish for any reason after a loud beep, so that is why. But yeah, with everything out of the way, all the minuscule details, let's just go to Mexico and see how the second half of the season gets started.
We return
No, I think the dude's just inept, Poco. I don't think it's like it's a good joke though, to be fair. We shall see. Poconaldo has been threatened with another season at Alpine unless he scores points here. The Poconaldo and Edster partnership will be contained to Alpine unless they can score a point together. Remember, Edster got knocked out, but he's still Poconaldo's race engineer. And, well, welcome back to hell, folks. Water, Merchant, GG Body, all start this off with damage, by the looks of it. The Chaupine, yes, exactly. The Chaupine has no friends or enemies, as it turns out. Okay, it's going to dry up towards the end, which basically means we're having a one-shot qualifying here for the Mexican qualifier. I'm curious what kind of damage the 3 cars in question actually have. Be interesting to take a look at, and we have everyone kind of leaving the pits here. It's going to dry up a lot more towards the end. So this is basically just a banker lap. Anyone who doesn't have an incident is going to set a better time on the second run. Just no way around it. And right now, there are purple sectors being set, but not a lot of people are beating my time. I say as we're beat by 6 people, including the birthday boy. Okay, now I need to find an area where I can sneak out without being a nuisance. And I think I found a good window here. We'll have to see. We might need to cause some problems here with Bly, but hopefully we will not. In 1 minute, it's going to start pouring down again. As we have the first yellow flag of the day. Master with a lockup.
Okay, so heading into turn 1 here. And there's the lockup. They took a gamble, and it was just too
That's
late.
not going to be good for your quality time there, Master, unfortunately. That is very likely Shaolin Master being sent out of here. I do need to pay a little bit of attention here to my cars, purely because I don't want to cause problems for car ahead of the car behind. But I think we are safe, and we will not be doing that. Tess here with a purple middle sector. GG Body, Water, Tess, Nieto, and Pocanaldo currently in the drop zone. All of them are improving. The question is, are they going to improve enough? Tess goes fastest at the moment. Water, with damage. How fast can you go? Water goes fastest out of everyone in a Mercedes that kind of is expected to do so at this point. What can we expect here from Liam?
They're currently P1.
Liam goes safe, pushes down pulling. Master is definitely going to be in danger here. Master is out. Merchant goes even quicker. What can the Salb of Nieto do here? A lot of cars running close to each other, being a bit of a nuisance. Not the best middle sector here, and that is probably going to be the crux of the, or rather, why he's out. That did in fact happen. Haas is now. One Haas safe. The second Haas is not. And with that, qualifying is over. Master is out. Nieto is out. Singh is out. Mourinho is out. And Bowling, with Abby pulling here, just barely surviving. 4,000ths of a second. And the grid is getting a little bit out of shape here. 1.4 seconds from first to last. Master doesn't count. Purely because, well, lockup. 2 weeks on, still P16. Well, you're currently P9. Both Alpines would have made Q3 here if we were in Q2. That doesn't happen often. Choo-choo, the pain train departing station. Second half of season destination hell. Hello, Nieto. I'm sorry that you have joined us at such a troubling time. Particularly as Jimmy here went third fastest. The bad luck that you've had this season has been biblical, and it doesn't seem to have any end. Hold on, let Alpine cook it. Just wait. As long as Floof is absent, the Alpines will do fine. The second Floof arrives is when the Alpines will suffer through hell. We all know this. We've seen it before. As long as Floof stays away, Alpine's safe. The second Floof arrives, Alpine forgets how their car works. They basically forget how to drive. All three damaged cars are through. Yes. I wasn't here last stream and they scored points. I'm scared for being here. How many points did Alpine score last time out? They scored a grand total of 13, which actually puts them at 8 here with Williams. So some points were scored, but probably not enough. Let's just put it like that. Currently, Tess is not quickest. David takes that away immediately. Second I open my mouth, someone does in fact take that first sector away. And we have a yellow flag, a bit longer one this time.
Okay, that's currently put you P1.
Do we have anyone doing a Spinala? It is Jimmy. The Sauber pain doesn't stop.
Here we go, heading into turn 1. And that's the moment they lose it. And there's
Question is, does Jimmy block anyone? He recovers really, really quickly. Deserves, you know, credit for that one. But I do believe Jimmy might have blocked someone in the middle sector here. We'll have to take a first sector. We'll have to take a look. 29-6 here from Floof. Kind of tells us exactly who Jimmy blocked. Oh no. It couldn't have happened to an unlucky guy. But yeah, currently Taz is the fastest one in quali. We'll have to see if anyone can cause any upsets here. Corner and Merchant both are through as it stands, but are we going to see some upsets here? Liam right now, as it stands, is out. It is going to get more wet. Oconaldo is out. Floof would be out. And Kaiser pushed Molobolo out. And Jimmy here just doesn't have any chance to get anything done. 1 minute until the rain starts. Really should just go on immediately for another fast lap. But as things are, Molobolo, the two Alpines, Floof, and Jimmy Bly are out altogether. And this trio is kind of interesting in that regard. Now, Floof lost about 1.5 seconds in the first sector, so wouldn't even have been through even if that didn't happen, looking at this. But yeah, kind of wild. The wet water has arrived. Are we going to see any improvements? I doubt it. But I might be proven wrong here. Jimmy now is going to go for one last Hail Mary. Needs to find quite a lot of time on a track that is getting progressively wetter the longer we go here. Can Jimmy get anything done? I doubt it. Honestly, I doubt it. I think Sauber is the cursed team. Maybe. Maybe. Poco's only 1.2 seconds off Q3. Well, Bly here is improving. It's not going to be enough. Not going to be enough. Still basically down 2 seconds at the moment. We have another yellow flag. Does in fact go faster than Floof. And Pocanaldo decides to have a cameo here to ensure that we do not forget that Alpine exists.
Very heavy on the brakes. Just unable to control the car by that point.
But there we are. Jimmy Bly spins, then goes out on a basically half a track here and still beats Floof time. Magnificent. And Molobolo has picked up a mechanical fault. But before we go any further, what is the mechanical faults that these guys are struggling with? It's an engine that's about to explode. And I assume it is very similar for the rest. Who are the others that have problems? Failure. Mike has still not gotten himself the failure he wants. It's Merchant and Body. GG Body, what is your curse? It is your gearbox, and then it's going to be your engine, I can almost guarantee. And for Merchant, or Failure, it's going to have very similar problems. So basically, the next couple of races are probably going to be decided a little bit about when your engine explodes. So we could have some upsets here as a result. But right now, Molobolo out, both Alpines out, Jimmy and Floof. Basically, Jimmy here took Floof with him, kicking and screaming, and it was legendary to watch. That's it, Poker, you're signing a contract extension? I'd rather go to Sauber. I love that every time we put any of you in Alpine, or Sauber for that matter, it's just, nah, I don't want either. But if I have to choose one, I'll pick the one where I'm currently not at. I do want to steal fastest lap point here. But maybe I don't do that. Maybe we just go back to the pit lane where we belong. Muscle memory after trying to make a couple of episodes this morning. Just click send out immediately. So it is going to drive towards the end. We have another set of banker laps here. Whoever goes out last should have the best opportunities here. Currently, RBs are the ones to look out for. And hilariously, all three cars with problems to their components have made it through to Q3. This is a very, very weird world we live in. Very, very weird indeed. I get to leave scot-free next season while you'll be suffering in the Alpine. Lando, you know that every time someone does this uppity, I'm so tempted to put them in Alpine. You might be the first person not to get the Alpine punishment. Corners is the first one out here. Still wet on a drying track. Who is going to be the best on the Inters here? RB12 being David's present. They're going to need to improve. That was the bankers. Gave them a lot of confidence. We'll have to see if they can actually improve on that. 31-1, the time to beat it in the first sector. Remember, the track is still drying up, and I believe Kaiser is the last car on track. He's a little bit too close to the cars ahead, though, so I don't think he's going to really be able to take full advantage of this, but purple first sector for him. Immediately shows just how valuable it is to go out on, well, with slightly better conditions, if you will. Corners, 125.2 sets time to beat. Water fails to do so. The teammate fails to do so. What can we see from Tess here? Goes even quicker. Kaiser, what can you do? You are the last car in this train. You only go third fastest. With that, we have a Tess pole, followed by the birthday boy, Kaiser, Cecilia, Corners, GG Body, Merchant, Failure, and then the Water. Very interesting that Water failed with Water on track. Funnily enough, Sauber is the only team I've nearly won the championship with, but Max decided they wanted to bottle it. Yes, one McLaren on pole, one McLaren all the way at the back. Not a full sandwich, but pretty close. Interesting enough, only RB and the William team have both cars in top 10. So we do have a little bit of competition here. But 4 black on sector 2, what am I doing? You're clearly upset, Mike, that you haven't gotten that mechanical failure that you punned your driver after. You had big hopes that... I love that after you basically did that because you ate so many mechanical failures in one season, and afterwards you have gotten none. Basically, the game is just teasing you at this point. But yeah, let's see what Mexico has to offer, and if there's any others in the pit lane alongside us.
Next, we're about to find out at the Mexico City Grand Prix. And it's lights out.
I'll take one driver. Oh, Abby, hello. We have a guest in the pit lane. But yeah, let us look at the race start before we go over that. So, not the best start here from David. Is losing out to Kaiser immediately. It's also kind of blocking Cecilia, and as a result, Corners is given a chance to work up the grid. Who is going to be latest on the brakes here? Corners just has clear-ish track here. And not the best start here for David, but not crashed out either, so not everything is bad. It's an interesting... just want to mention, it's an interesting variety here, I guess we could say, of tires. We have hards, we have mediums, we have softs. And if I remember correctly, you don't really want to use the hards around here. Let's just take a quick look at it. So, soft to hard, it's actually not too bad. It's a degradation difference here of about 600s. So, in basically 12 laps, the softs are worse than hards. That's pretty quick around Mexico. Medium to hard is about 15 laps, so maybe not the worst choice. It's going to totally depend, though, on when the rain arrives. And it isn't, apparently. I was promised rain before this race. Where has it gone? Does that mean the game has elected to give us a potential safety car, though? I have a feeling that might be the case, because it said on the preview it was going to rain, and now the rain has vanished. Who said I was participating next season? We all know you're going to participate, Lando. I want to win on my birthday. Well, you have 4 chances to make that count, David. I wish you all the luck to make that happen. I was right about not using hards around Spain, so we're taking his advice from this one. Well, currently Tez is breaking away. We've been over this, though. It's basically just the others are managing their ERS a bit more. And Corners did bully Kaiser there because made it pass and then immediately got 2 seconds. That is kind of nuts here. Kaiser is just being pushed back down the order. David up to 3rd again. The big question is going to be, how many engines are we going to see explode here in Mexico? I think by lap 10, the hards start becoming faster than mediums. It's around lap 15, based on the degradation patterns. I might jinx myself for a win. That wouldn't be the first time someone has done that, but you just moved up to 2nd and you bullied Corners in the process, so I think you are looking quite strong at the moment. I am very concerned for everyone's well-being, though, because the wet weather is missing. We were promised rain. It isn't here. So, the game might have done a cheeky little, oh, you're going to cause a safety car on lap 50 when it set up the race. So, this could get very, very interesting. Currently, though, Cecilia is running 3rd. We have Kaiser up in 4th here. Corners is burning those softs. Kaiser is actually managing his. And then we have the damage triplets, which sounds terrible, I know. But it's just funny that the 3 damage cars are running together, kind of being a little bit of a problem here, as Merchant is being dropped down the order. And we are seeing Cecilia crashing.
Look at the Mercedes.
The Mercedes pain just doesn't stop here.
Oh, and the car with a nasty crash into the barrier.
That is hopefully just front wing, maybe suspension. But I think surprisingly she'll be able to keep on going here. And she can. Can in fact keep on going, even after that pretty tough hit. Our first pit stop is courtesy of the wall. And it is a hard tire, which kind of makes sense in this situation. Try and go along, try and get the undercuts on the cars ahead. Still a lot of racing to go. Red flags, safety cars, all could happen here. A lot will explode, but no, that would be Mike. How about I just secretly add rain? Oh, never mind. Cecilia is pulling more moves right now. Spin.
And here we've got a yellow flag.
Mercedes pain is not stopping anytime soon.
Oh no, that's not how to do it. And that won't do anything to help those tyres.
My tires are healthy. I think we actually did something good. Poco, are you about to jinx yourself again? It's a soft tire here for corners. Yeah, right now Tez is looking quite solid out front. We are having a little bit of squabbling here between Poconaldo and Molobolo. Molobolo's tires are about to give up on him. With that, Poconaldo can sneak up into 8th place. Honestly, not the worst start to this race here from the Alpine boys. I said Mercedes was a cheat code for winning. How's that for winning? The funny thing is that Mercedes has only been a cheat code for winning when you've either had Conevia there, or Taz, or Parker. If two out of those three are there, then yes, they are a cheat code for winning. But if you don't have 2 out of 3, it somehow just fails. As we see a mechanical failure evolve here.
Got a fault with the car.
But Speedy Waters' failure has escalated here. Ferrari pain intensifies. Rare footage of an Alpine overtaking. Are you gonna like clip it from the stream, send it to Floof with that? Just add in bold letters. Hello, Ed, how you doing? What about your title win? That was the fluke. That was the one fluke. After that, everything has gone pretty bad. Let's be honest. No, it was a good performance. It's just more fun to think of it the way that people call it the cheat code, say they've done well, and then they try themselves like both Ty and Floof did, and it just turns into a massive fail. But yeah, you had a great title win with Mercedes. I'm not saying that, but it's just always funny when people say one team is a cheat code, and in this case it's Mercedes, who literally is designed in this game to just implode after 2 seasons. So far, it's been a pretty chill start here. We have kind of the order set. Celia will have a ton of work here. Get back in the fight. We see Failure and Mourinho come in. Did you just go hard too hard on lap 17? You are a failure. Mike. Mechanical failure went from hard to hard here. Honestly, it's not a bad choice. I'm making it sound a lot worse than it is. I'm just amazed that they had an extra hard tire available. Pile the pain on top of me. I'm currently unemployed. At least I'm Poker's race engineer. You are employed. What's going on here with David? David just slowed down to let corners by and lost 2 seconds in the process after pitting here. But yeah, race podium contender here has pitted. Is down into 16th behind corners. The corners is definitely getting their money worth here on the undercut, but they're gonna have to pit very, very soon again. Maybe not exactly what they were hoping for. Do you end up jinxing us here? I'm pressing your fire alarm. It's gonna cost you about what would it be, 500 quid? So if you wish to do so, feel free, but I'm not paying. That's basically how much a quote-unquote false fire alarm costs around here. You get fined that amount for it. Merchant now, with a mechanical failure that is evolving. The 3 Musketeers of Pain just get more of it. As box this lap, you do get what you wish for. It's a hard tie that awaits the McLaren driver. We also see Floof, Singh, and Nieto also come into the pit lane here, along with Master. A bunch of cars deciding to get rid of their tires. Bit of a slow stop here for Sauber. Nieto's pain just has been legendary this season in the worst way possible. A slow stop blocked on the exit and back out in 19th place. Only behind the Crash and Spinderella. Very, very unfortunate. I'm curious though what the plan here is for Kaiser, because 127 and what if that matter? 127 is what they're currently doing. But David and Corners here are gaining 2 to 3 seconds a lap. And as you can see, they've already undercut them. At this point, Tess, maybe even Failure, could undercut Kaiser, who's finally getting into the pit lane. Where are you going to come out? Is Failure going to get you? Failure is flying down the straight, but I think he... Nope, it's actually going to get the Red Bull. And just like that, Kaiser has been undercut by basically 3 cars, maybe 4 if you want to count Molo Bolo. Kaiser now outside of the podium places with the late stop. I'll just take it out of Poco's contract extension, damn. Wow, Alpine 2-3, what do you mean, Poco? Second and third at the moment. You're hunting the Ferrari, as David said, fastest lap here, back up into 4th place right now. Net lead, as everyone ahead still needs a pit, and you are just 3 seconds behind them. The RB here at the moment is flying, and no one can really stop David here at the moment. It would have to be RNGesus that does that job. Coco has a threat from extension and decides to actually perform for once. Honestly, the race, like the qualifying session, was so annoying because like every chance they had, the commentators, everyone was just, oh, Max is going to Mercedes for sure. And we see Water and Liam come in here. Hard for the Alpine. We see medium for the Ferrari. But you can, again, just get an idea of how much time you lose by staying out. Coconaldo right now is losing 3 seconds a lap to David. This is a very, very brave thing you're doing, staying out. But you are holding up Taz, and David is going to be tanking you for every second that you buy him here. I lead for 5 seconds. Congratulations. Max goes Mercedes, Stroll goes Red Bull. It's the championship. That would be someone, you know, rub the genie ball to make that happen. Medium tires for Jimmy here. Medium tires for Jimmy. I think we can expect to see an engine explode. It's still a little under 50 laps remaining. Most cars have pitted. Poconaldo, Molobolo, and Corners are the only one who hasn't. As we do see Poconaldo come into pit lane right now. And waiting this long with pitting has put you basically dead last at this point. Celia will need to pit very soon. But I don't think that's going to be very helpful. I wonder who would have rubbed the bottle. Honestly, we'll figure that out depending on if Piastri takes revenge on Lando into turn 1. Oh, slow stop here for Haas.
That's not a good stop.
Haas Payne continues as well. Corners, Molobolo, and Cecilia now sitting at the back. Alpine's back to 15th and 17th, as things usually go. Currently, the top 2 are driving really, really quick here. Floof is trying to catch up, but has a GG bot in front, which is slowing him down. But it is still fairly close here. That's a 1/3 point around this race track. Maybe an engine exploding causes a safety car. Wouldn't surprise me. Honestly, could happen. Hello, you're all bots. We're happy that you wish to root for Williams. They've had a bit of a rough time here at the start of this Mexico GP. What, Nero? Basically, if you didn't follow qualifying Lando, we have Lando on pole, and then we have Piastri right behind Lando. So what if the genie got rubbed in the way that Piastri takes a wrench and locks up into Lando tomorrow? Let's not say slow. Damn, sorry. It's always meant in a joking fashion, don't get me wrong. And we have our first retiree here. The water has given in. The engine has gone bye-bye. And Mourinho comes into the pits to get some of those fumes. But yeah, water has retired. Clearly there was no water on the track. Couldn't handle it. Decided to go home early. Needed to go back to his yacht. Raikkonen style. Got close out of Piastri. Didn't Piastri qualify third? What I mean, Cosby, is basically you have Lando on the left, right side? I don't remember which side he started on if they qualify first. But then you have directly behind him Piastri. I know you have Leclerc over to the right side, but Piastri is strategically placed right behind him and ready to take him out. Hey, they tried to put a yacht on the track with, you know, the fake water in Miami. Anything can happen. Where am I fitting one of those? Good question. Maybe we'll place it right here. We'll fill this with water. We'll block this off. I don't know what this building is. I'm probably performing some sort of heresy. We'll fill this up and make a large swimming pool. Currently, though, it is pretty chill. The final set of pit stops there. I'm curious, though. I think we might have just one more pit stop for most of these cars. But if we don't, it's going to get spiced towards the end. Anyone who doesn't have a medium available will need to pit again. A very tiny yellow flag there as Corners has had a lockup.
Here we are then looking at turn 12. The brakes couldn't cope, and hopefully there's not too much.
At least Corners avoided the wall right there. Nieto now into the pit lane. Fastest lap in the hands of the Sauber driver. What tires have you decided to use? Soft ones, which means you will need to pit again. I don't think you're going half the race distance on one set of softs here, unfortunately. In a flat corner. Move now into the pit lane. The hard tire can go till the end if managed well. Floof here might be trying something cheeky-breaky with the undercuts. We've seen they are very, very powerful around here. Question now is, can Floof make them work to their advantage? Mourinho now with fastest lap. A fresh set of hards. 5 to 7 seconds quicker than some of these people. Well, not really. 5.5 seconds quicker than Merchant. Floof pitted, so that doesn't really count. But yeah, for the most part, 3 to 4 seconds gained a lap at the moment for Mourinho. Probably will not be able to go in these till the end, and traffic is going to be a nuisance. But the opportunity is in fact there. As both Body and Singh now comes to pit lane. Body with a soft tire, Singh with a medium. You could try and stretch that. Again, I think everyone who goes for a soft tire will need to pit again. And that is exactly what Corners have gone for. We will be seeing some more stops here for these cars, I would think. That's bad, David. It's his birthday. Well, currently, I think the teammate here is the bigger concern. Failure has snuck up into second, and David does, in fact, pit. Does David have another hard tire here, or is it going to be a soft and a guaranteed second pit stop? It is, in fact, another hard tire. David will go till the end on these, I can almost guarantee it. Bowling with a hard tire. What has Master cooking? Hard tire for all three of these cars going to the pit lane. And a little bit of a squabble here on the pit exit. Going to need to clear the two Alpes very, very quickly alongside the Sauber. But if that can be done, you definitely see a great result here for the birthday boy. Mike, are you jealous of the engines failing? Asks Lando. Well, Mike is now coming into the pit lane. Are they going to keep the McLaren driver out longer than they should here? It's a soft tire for failure. That means very likely another stop. Medium for pulling. Can potentially go till the end, but it's going to be close. Failure has basically committed to another stop already here. That's going to be rough, I think. Celia now comes in alongside Merchant. What are these two going to do? Cecilia gets a hard tire. Same here for Merchant. They're also going to try and get some undercutting done here. They're a little bit too far down the order, though, that I think that's going to work, unfortunately, for them. It is just the reality of things here. As a yellow flag has shown up once again. Taz finally comes to the pit lane, with corners locking up.
The wheels just lock up there, but that's just the risk you take.
That is basically a guaranteed pit stop for that Williams with those soft tires down to 60%. Yeah, not surviving till the end. There is a hard tire awaiting Taz, however. Where is Taz going to exit the pit lane here? Behind both RBs and potentially even behind Floof. So yeah, staying out long is definitely not the play. You want to pit early and you want to hopefully start clearing people. David is not making that work. Poconaldo, sorry, not Poconaldo, Liam here with a very, very strong defense. Defending like a lion, as they say, against the RB's attacks here. And that could bring other drivers into the equation again. I never thought punishment for not having an engine failure wasn't being a championship contender. As if I don't see a hard time Poker's car, I'm sentencing you to the Alpine seat. What, are you going to swap their positions? Is that what's going on? David now finally gets by failure. Next up, the other Alpine in Poconaldo. Sorry, check out. I think we have a new Minister of Defense. Oh. Well, the Minister of Defense is giving up. Those tires are about to leave the car. But every second board here is helping Poconaldo. Safety car would probably help both of them a little bit more, though. Not gonna lie here. Is Poconaldo going to be able to cause any problems for the RB cars? Not for the first one. What about failure? Soft tire versus used medium, basically, here. I don't think we're going to be seeing much of a defense. But as long as Poconaldo has DRS, it is viable. And just like that, the DRS vanished. Almost like I made it happen. David now up against Jimmy Bly. And then there is Kaiser. He's using a little bit too much of the tire, I think. And Tess just now ran wide.
And that's where they slightly run off the track. And they'll find themselves at a disadvantage.
Put me in, boss.
Keep on doing that.
Maybe a medium tire could be acceptable. I love that USTV is just negotiating with your engineers about what you should do for your driver. Like, please. Please do your job. I beg of you. I bet that safety car will be due to AFN's engine blowing up. We'll have to see. Yeah, right now Tess is not having a good time. Liam is defending like a lion and being just basically a very, very annoying nuisance for a lot of drivers right now to deal with. Jimmy has been cleared too by 2 RBs. As it stands, they are going to be very, very strong contenders here for a great result. The question that does remain, however, is can David make these tires last? 20% has been used on 5 laps. There's 25 laps remaining. The math there doesn't add up, and burning these tires early in the stint is not really a great choice. BM now finally finds the pit lane. It's a medium tire for the Alpine car. I'll have to see what the rest here do, because now we're in the range where the final pit stops are actually starting to happen. I worry for the hard tire runners because they could potentially be burning their tires a little bit too much. It remains to be seen. That's Jimmy now. Exits the pit lane to a yellow flag.
Now there's been an incident,
and Cecilia has crashed again.
Here we are then at the 11th corner. Clearly unable to take evasive action. Now their confidence will have taken a hit with that.
Please don't tell me you destroyed the front wing like that. It would be... Yeah, you did. I was about to say it would be embarrassing, and it is. Did you just scrape the wall again? Your rear wing is also having some problems there, buddy. Yeah, the Mercedes paint train has no brakes here. I'm pretty sure this front wing got another scrape. And basically Cecilia here is just trying to eat all the spare parts at the moment. That new factory That new factory promoter is something a little bit unhealthy here. Floof somehow snuck into third while this happened. What is this sorcery? This is illegal. Never seen anyone except Floof willingly want an Alpine side. Like I said, new Minister of Defense, maybe, we'll see. That is a wild Floof, right. Now, down into fourth now, though. Reality is fixing itself. See the cheekiness done by Lando's making me stay out. Lando has been begging for a while for you to get into the pit lane. They're not listening to the begging. Esther's just giving him the big middle finger while sitting there and laughing. Kaiser now pits onto a medium tire. That should be very easily to get going till the end. Just 22 laps remaining. Oconaldo pulling. Basically everyone here might need to pit again. Potentially even David. So it's going to get very, very interesting to see who ends up where. Traffic is going to be a deciding factor here. But if everyone's going to need to pit again, Kaiser's actually positioning himself beautifully. He just needs to get past Mourinho here. Once he pulls that off, basically has 10 seconds of clear air. Where he can get, basically, within undercut distance of anyone ahead. So for Kaiser now, clearing Mourinho is going to be the big one. Once that happens, can start taking time out of the cars ahead. And if they can pull that off, then the undercut is viable. Jimmy here has also managed to do something very, very similar. And right now, the Red Bull and the Sauber will need to try and cooperate a little bit to get back up to the train here for 11th. Because anyone that pits is a target to be undercut. Corners onto a medium tire here. Going to stay on that till the end, I would assume. Right now, we see Gigi Body come in. He just really wants to give you a contract extension. Yeah, maybe Poconaldo. Oh, Mike and Kaiser have to pit, so Floof is net P2. I think Floof will need to pit too, however. He's not doing 20 laps on 50% tires. Sorry. Who was that said that? One of you. Sorry if I'm getting the wrong person. The chat moved. Rain is imminent. Put wets on now. What's the so-called safety car you were talking about? I don't know. I was promised rain. The rain is not arriving, so I'm going to complain a lot. Soft tires for Poconaldo is a bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him. Because the time lost staying out probably isn't worth these soft tires, I'm not going to lie. 20 laps to go. Soft tires. And another Mercedes incident. They just aren't stopping. Master with a lockup.
Right, let's have a look now. Around turn 3. Struggling with the car. By that point, it was just too late.
Master's had a lockup here, and that means pit lane is the next destination for the Mercedes driver. Could genuinely be beaten here, or get very close to a teammate who has crashed twice and spun, which would be an interesting start to the second half of the season for Mercedes, not going to lie. Master elects to stay out with 29% worn halves. That's a brave move with 18 laps to go. That is a very brave move. Failure now. It's getting to the point where they need to pit. Basically, everyone here is going to need to pit again, except for Kaiser, Bly, Gigi Body, and they've already caught up to the rest here. They're not going to really be able to undercut David. That just isn't happening. David just needs to run light, conserve it till the end. But he isn't really doing that. He's still pushing a little bit. And if we take a look at what we can expect from a pit stop round here, it's 25 seconds gained. For Floof, it is 28 seconds. So all three of these, sorry, both of these, Master doesn't count. Both of these guys have already undercut him, and Gigi Body just needs to find 3 seconds. And then Floof will be in trouble. As Taylor now comes into pit lane. Alongside Pulling and Singh. Medium tire for failure, soft for Pulling. What do they have for the McLaren driver? A soft tire. And also a soft tire here for Master. Failure here comes out behind both Kaiser and Bly, and with a GG body looking like a missile, but has, more importantly, come out ahead and needs to gain 10 seconds, Kaiser and Bly, over the next 16 laps. Going to be a little bit difficult to get done, I think, as Sauber still wants Nieto to suffer. 26% warm softs right now. Hopefully you will go into the pit lane this season. This season? This lap. Do in fact go into the pit lane. Mercedes got no brakes, damn. Did Waters' engines fail? Yeah, Waters' engine went bye-bye. It exploded, although I don't know if it was his engine or his gearbox. It was in fact his engine that went bye-bye. Basically, I decided that we are using this for one more race, and then lap 31. Done so, as it were. Currently, though, Floof is basically about to just stay out long enough here to put himself potentially out of the points. 25 seconds on a pit stop. GG body right now. Loses 2 seconds a lap. 2 more laps like this, and suddenly you're outside of the points. You'll have Pulling, Molobolo, all of them catch up to you. But the only plus side is Taz and Bowling are both also going to need to pit at one point. And they are in an even worse position than Floof is. The AI electing to wait with pitting here is definitely screwing over a lot of teams. Guys, right now overtakes their teammate. Jimmy is going to be playing the role of, well, trying to hold him up, I think. Are you going to pit this lap, Floof? Are you going to go again? We go again. We all should say a prayer for the poor little Floof, and probably Bowling and Taz while we're at it.
It was the Williams driver we see there. And that won't help their chances. And you really can't...
The runner-up Merchant runs wide. And it be a safety car, please. Okay, Taz, take out Floof. You have received the orders. Floof is going around again. Taz going around again. The cars with no tire are giving this win away. They should have pitted 10 laps ago. Well, 5 laps at the very least. And they have decided to stay out and suffer. And Bowling is actually doing that exact same thing. And again, for every lap they stay out, it is 2 to 3 seconds lost to the cars behind. And right now, both of them are getting to that point where when they pit, they will be straight up shuffled outside of the points from a podium place. That's not running wide, that's corner cutting. As Lando lodges a protest. He didn't actually run wide, he just corner cut. Give him a time penalty. Is Floof actually going to get a puncture here? Molobolo is actually coming into pit lane. Soft tires with 10 laps to go. Brave choice. I strongly question Ferrari and McLaren at the moment. Remember, Ferrari has the on-paper best car at the moment, and they're very likely to score no points here. And one of the reasons, of course, being that an engine blew up, but the second reason is just being stubborn. 10 laps to go. Puncture territory right around the corner. Let's all pray for the Floofster. Hello, Max. Punctures incoming. Yeah, I don't think you're wrong. And Bowling has, in fact, been the first victim of it. And Nieto is being... Poconaldo just gets fucking parked. I had to. Sorry for the swearing, but I had to. That was just... Oh, peak Alpine right there. Getting stuck for 3 seconds behind a puncture. You can't make this stuff up. And of course, Nieto is also part of the unlucky gang there. There we have Floof with a puncture. The Ferrari strategy did not work out for them. The Fluke has fallen here. And the Fluke could hold up some cars. Digibody gets by pretty cleanly. What can Pulling do? Pulling is getting held up. Lost a little bit of time there. But if Liam loses just as much, it is fair. But yeah, a lot of cars being absolutely screwed over by the Floofster. And honestly here, we have the next applicant for the Puncture Championship here in Taz. And I don't think they're going to survive till the end of this race. It's still 7 laps remaining. We're 2% away from puncture territory. The McLaren boss is about to fire his entire pit wall here. Cosby is not happy with them. Not happy with anyone at the moment. Are we going to get entering the pit lane? No, we're not. Taz has been overtaken by Jimmy Bly. And we have entered puncture territory here. Survived the first tick. 19 more ticks to go. Can you survive them all? I don't think you have enough ticks here, even if you did survive them all. That should get till the end before you hit 0. Liquidate the whole team. Liquidate the whole team, he says. And there we go. The puncture is a reality. GG Body just says, get out of the way. Don't block me. And now the teammate is being blocked. Singh lost a good 3 seconds. Has not only picked up a puncture, but ensured that the teammate lost 3 seconds in the process. And with that, Liam is now in striking distance. This is a teammate sabotage day, for sure. And David here should be fine. 5 laps to go, can lose 2 seconds a lap and still be okay. The mediums are going to degrade quicker if they do push very, very aggressively here. No pasta tonight! Poker, you can get beat by a rookie. I don't think Nieto counts as a rookie. Unless you mean Liam, of course. In that case, it does in fact count. But yeah, Master right now is looking at that other Alpine. And it's basically going to be a very intense fight for the last couple of points. Can Poconaldo get within DRS distance? Can Liam hold off Master and Nieto? We'll have to see. Only if he scores a point. We have another yellow flag here. Is it Floof? Looks like it, because that is 37% tires on that Ferrari.
We're watching the Ferrari. Things were going smoothly. Well, you can see the lockup.
I think it's time to bring out the classic. But yeah, Floof has not had a good race here. Was looking very, very promising until they decided to be stubborn with it. But that doesn't mean we won't have another puncture as Master gets Liam here. And honestly, Nieto could get him too. Then we'll have a straight up Alpine duel where they take each other out. As God intended. Floof heard no pasta into a tantrum? Yeah. To be fair, Floof would only throw a tantrum if you said no baguette. I don't think he cares too much about the pasta. But yeah. 3 laps to go. A battle in the back. Jimmy trying to catch up to the final podium place. Liam now down to 10th. Straight up Alpine on Alpine violence is forecasted here. In the words of Russell, I was forecast Alpine on Alpine violence. Let's see if it actually happens. Are we gonna get the violence we all crave? Poconaldo not really getting close enough right now. The rest zone is coming up, however. Are we gonna see an overtake? Not here. Needs a little bit more to get that one done. And Nieto is also looking at Master, who's down to 27% on those softs. David had also hit 29%, but should be fine. Master should also be fine, but it's going to be a little bit of a touch and go. And Boconaldo has actually passed his teammate for that final point scoring position. Final lap is underway. David's in the lead, Kai's second. Then we have Failure, Jimmy, Body pulling, Singh, Master, and Nieto, as well as Boconaldo in 10th, but we could still see changes to position here. It is not over yet, as Nieto tries to get by with DRS. Bit of an aggressive move there from Master, but does in fact pull it off. Liam did not get his move pulled off here. It's still 11th behind Boconaldo. One more DRS zone to make anything happen. One more chance. As now, the birthday boy takes the win at Mexico. Happy birthday, David. Congratulations on the win. Kaiser takes second. Failure takes third. A good weekend for the RBs. Then we have Jimmy, GG Body, pulling, Singh, Nieto. I don't think we're going to see any more overtakes, to be fair. With that, the Mexican GP here has reached its conclusion. Master survives on 20% tires. Boconaldo does in fact beat his teammate as his team principal ordered. But with just a 1 point, it still leaves a lot to be decided.
Max will be very unhappy after that race, I'm sure.
This really is going to be an incredible.
This is a win for us, says Boconaldo,
and an opportunity
for the 10th place finish. This is the first race, mind. Yes, we have 3 more to go this evening. And has no points. Great for the RB. Not wrong. Is this the 5th one? Yeah, it's the 5th one. So we're still at, well, technically it's the 6th out of 9. So there's still 3 more to go. My seat isn't saved. My seat is gone. Woohoo! All green arrows in top 10. Yes. Runner-up Merchant here. Celia and Taz, the biggest losers alongside Corners. They lost basically, well, a lot of positions. Let's just put it like that. Abby here made up 15 positions to finish 6th. Mike made up 5. Jimmy made up 9. And Nieto actually managed to get in the points here after a horrible qualifying session. Master did manage to salvage something. Mercedes just not having a good time. And then, of course, Boconaldo scoring a singular point for the Alpines. Driver Championship right now. Mike is in the lead. Kaiser is second. But as you know, there is still some points to be added because the first race isn't represented on this screen. We'll add them at the end of the season. Constructors then. RB scores 20 points here, which is huge for them. And Sauber scores 10 points here as well, basically doubling the total point tally and moving up ahead of Alpine and Williams. So Sauber should have a better second half of the season, looking at how things have been going here. I feel like Alpine is just a horror movie. Yes, Alpine is a horror movie, and you will have to live with it. The Ferrari pit crew can't save Ferrari from themselves, as it turns out. The faster stops, the worst strategies. The Ferrari tagline for this save, apparently. We will have to acknowledge some drive attention here, but with that said, we are going to head directly into the next race here, which will be Baku in just 18 days, which means we're not going to get any real upgrades on any cars here. It's going to be very, very similar. So the question is going to be, are we going to still have such a huge shuffle in the grid? Never didn't jinx Alpine, said fire alarm is safe for now. Well, I better hope so. I thought for a second he had 81 points and got very confused. Okay. Let's go to Baku, where hopefully we'll get the safety car we were forecast for Mexico because they stole our rain. The big question is, who would actually steal our rain? Show analysis of Sauber, please. I shall do so, mind. We can take a look at the cars again before Baku. I just want to get there, so that way we have all upgrades, if you will, on the car. Okay, I'm full lower cap. We might have taken it because it was raining a lot today. Did you do the Russell thing and confuse sweat for rain? Maybe we did. I will be showing the Sauber analysis. Just give me a second. We need to actually get to Baku today. And Sauber. This is the Sauber car. It is basically pretty meh. It's middle of the pack in speed, in cornering, basically everything but tire preservation and acceleration. So, while it might look meh on paper, it's actually a pretty solid car, because Ferrari, who is quote-unquote the strongest one with their cornering, you're not far off there. It's basically 0.002 in low speed. That's nothing. I assume Ferrari has fallen down the order a little bit, just slightly. It's a pretty significant margin in high speed, but I don't feel like this matters super much. High speed cornering, middle and low speed are more important. And let's face it, Sauber is really, really close to them in those regards. Are we still bad? Asks the Alpine driver. Do we still suck is the question. And the answer is yes. I think you actually suck a little bit more now. 19th, 19th, and 17th in cornering, alongside 13th in top speed. You only have tire preservation going for you. I think you might need to consider firing Lando Poco. I'm gonna go have my dinner now. It's fire alarm goes off. I promise it's me. Have a good dinner, Lando. See you later, perhaps. But yeah, we are gonna just jump straight into this race. There aren't any real upgrades. It's been 18 days. So we'll take a look at it once we go to the next race after this one. We aren't that far off? No, you're not wrong. Every team is still pretty close. I'm not saying that. But right now you're the one furthest away. Even if it is still really, really close. Does unfortunately not change that fact. Okay. Q1 here. Who is gonna bin it into turn 1?
Angry.
Could it be an Alpine? Could it be an Alpine, or are we gonna be, are they finally gonna have a good day? Bank laps underway. Let's see where everyone kind of squares up. All I want is a single Q3 appearance this season. Oh! Would you look at this, Mike?
Well, yeah, right. It certainly looks like they've developed a fault.
Mike just jinxed himself. Apparently, a lot of cars have replaced their damaged components. GG Body is the only one driving around with one right now. And in terms of failure here, what can we actually expect from that? Is it going to explode this season? Or this race? The gearbox can, but they have given you a new engine at least, so they're not fully screwing you over. Just kind of. Ronaldo, you're in the wrong spot. You're supposed to be right here. Did your mechanical fault escalate in the short time you've been out on track? Okay, it's all hitting you now. It's all hitting you now. Your fault escalated to a major one. In the out lap fault. In lap fault escalation. Protocol initiate. Yeah. We are getting ready here for the final set of times here. I don't think Liam is actually setting another time, though. The Alpine driver seems to be in their pit lane at the moment. Merchant, Singh, Poling, and Poconaldo all in the danger zone here. Cecilia, Mulabola are also fairly close to it, so they'll need to improve. Alia might be saved here, we'll have to see, but I assume they might want to switch your gearbox, so you might still find your way to the pit lane here. For now, what can Cecilia do? Can you get away from danger? Poling and Singh have better first sector times, though. That is not great for the Mercedes driver. Master, 5th fastest at the moment. Is the Mercedes comeback happening right now? Cecilia improves her time, but not position, and is still in danger, and is actually just straight up out. Nieto jumps pretty far up. Pulling does not improve. Bolo Bolo is in danger if either Poconaldo or Merchant does improve. There was a little bit of blockage going on right there. 3/10 loss to the cars around you, Poco. Are you going to be able to find in the final sector here? You can actually. You put Molo Bolo out. And Merchant here. Can you knock the second Haas out? Or do they survive? No. Both Haas is out in Q1. Celia is out in Q1. Pulling and also Liam. Oof survives by the thinnest of margins once more, which is kind of surprising. How am I 4th? Q1, Nieto. It's Q1. Don't worry about it. We'll send you to the back again so you don't feel confused in just a second. Don't worry about it.
Very light.
Holy guacamole, I'm not 16th. Well, it's just this one time. Hopefully you'll enjoy the one exception to the rule.
Yep.
But we shall see. Okay. Pretty big gaps here in qualifying times. Kaiser definitely did not have a good run for the banker. We can see that by being last, followed by Poconaldo, the birthday boy, Gigi Body, and Bowling. How is the final set of laps going to do here? Kaiser is actually the first one out. Gigi Body's mechanical fault has escalated in Q2. Probably going to be a pit lane start with that. Can Kaiser get out of the danger zone here? Actually not get through Q2. We'll see. Let us see what Kaiser can do here. Pull off, if you will. It's either going to be a pit lane start or the AI being dumb and not replacing the part. Basically, yes, those are the options. You're not wrong about that one, Cosby. Kaiser now is coming up on his own traffic. It should be, pedal to the metal right now anyway, so it shouldn't be bad for him. In fact, it should be beneficial with the slipstream. Can Kaiser improve? Purple, final sector. That slipstream helped out massively and pushes Master into the danger zone. The birthday boy now, trying to save himself. Can it be done? Singh has had a terrible middle sector by the looks of it. Still improves that time, however. And David right now is actually improving quite a bit. Taz, mechanical fault, up in 3rd. Not really wanted anyways at any time. What we're seeing here from David is 3rd fastest. Puts Nieto in danger. Bowling and GT Body, neither are improving. That could be pretty bad when they are already down by over a second. GT Body is out, not unexpected, with engine damage. But on the other hand, Bowling is going to be very, very disappointed. What can Poconaldo do here? Improving the first sector, but still down by 4 to 3/10. That is not what you need at this point. Nieto improves to 8, pushes corners down. And Floof and Singh are both on their in-lap, so they are in danger. What can corners do here? Can corners knock out Floof? Service says yes. Can Master knock out Singh? Service says yes. Can Poconaldo knock out Nieto? Service says no. 15th instead of 16th for the Alpine driver here. Karma is a fickle mistress, as it turns out. Nieto through to Q3. Wait, what? Nieto doesn't believe what actually happened here. Oh, yes, but I'm the only... It's unfortunate, Pocaneldo. It is just the unfortunate reality that sometimes occurs. It's the Sauber comeback. Clearly your car is good. Just need a little bit of luck with your drivers. Let us see how the banker laps go. Currently Jimmy Bly was the fastest. It's taken away by Taz. Taz does have damage. And Master has somehow woken up right now. Mercedes is somehow back. What is actually Taz's problem? It's the gearbox. That is pretty bad. And Taz is actually the first one out here to try and set a better Q3 time. Let us see how this lap is going to go. Final chance to improve right now. What can we expect out of the first sector? $36.2 from Bly, 36.6 from Taz means already down 4/10. That is not a great start to the final run here, unfortunately. That gearbox failure is definitely causing some damage. Some loss of time. 41.8 still not improving. 41.7. So Jimmy, not too far off. 41.7. Probably still within the expected time ranges. As Merchant 2 does a similar time. Improvement in the final sector, but I think the time loss was just too much in the first one. Jimmy Bly, 2,000ths off Master here. What can Merchant do? Only 5th fastest. Water. What can you do here? Can you improve? Or rather, can you chase down cars ahead? You have 1/10 up on Jimmy Bly. You are only 3rd fastest. Corners and Nieto are going to try and give it a go here. Master with an improvement in the middle sector. We can see Master improving that time. What are we going to see here from corners? Improvement in time, but not in position. Nieto has been improving. Goes 4th fastest here. And Kaiser improves to 6th. Master did, in fact, improve that time by nearly 2/10. And interestingly enough, that is the difference going from 2nd to 7th. Master, or not even that, 2nd to 8th. So Master with a very, very strong performance here at Baku qualifying. Why is my driver actually competitive? It's to give you fake hope so that when your engine explodes in the race itself. You know how it works. It is the false hope. Sauber seems to be back. To be fair, we are going to see a lot of different performances between races. It's just the nature of allowing the AI to develop.
The anticipation is here we go with the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And it's lights out and away we go.
Never mind, Sauber decided to take Jimmy and put him in the pit lane. Sauber seems to be competitive. Let's take this man, who was 2nd fastest, put him in the lane with the pits. Yes, someone jinxed the Sauber team here for sure. And we also have GG Body and Mechanical Failure in here with us as well. The 3 cars currently occupy the pit lane, as well as our own. Master here with a brilliant start. Nieto with a very, very lovely start as well. Immediately takes that 2nd place. And Water, not the best start that we've ever seen, let's be honest. But yeah, we do actually have a couple of interesting strategies here on the hard tires. We don't really like the hard tires around here, and the reason is very, very simple. Degradation isn't that much of an issue. There is basically nearly 8/10 difference between a soft and a hard. It's 500 degradation. It's Baku. You can do 16 laps on a soft before they become equal to a hard. There's not a lot of laps in this race to begin with. And basically, the medium too, if we take a look at that, medium, 4/10 difference, 200 degradation. You can do 20 laps on a medium before the hard starts being faster. And by that time, you've probably gained 5, 6, nearly 10 seconds. So you kind of get the idea. You will have a 10-second advantage, and then you can pit. You're behind 9 seconds, and you're still going to be a ton faster. I pity both Corners and David here, unless they go full send and pit early. That's the only way I think they can make this hard strategy work. Let's get our voice out of the way. As we can see here, immediately loses out to Singh. That pace advantage of the soft tire immediately apparent.
0.2 behind.
I think Singh here too will take corners in quick succession. Tess is still driving with that gearbox failure, however, so we'll have to see how the McLaren driver is going to do. But genuinely, for now, we're just going to speed up because this is the first 5 laps where they just go full send. Holding up GG and Mike a treat. Never mind. The immediate self jinx there is hilarious. Champs are starting to form. Top 2 are running away with it a little bit right now. But they're also squabbling, and I think they're squabbling quite hard here. We could definitely see an incident happen with the... Yikes, that was close. With how aggressive they are with each other here. Nieto and, of course, Master. Nieto on the medium tire. And if they can stay with the Mercedes car here, we'll have an advantage towards the end of the stint. Overtake is incoming, I think. And luckily, no lockup into the wall. Looking at the hard tires there, I feel like they are being managed a little bit. And we'll have to see how this is going to work out. But again, I don't have much faith in it. Right now, David is starting to collect the bottom, well, 20 drivers here, basically. And we'll be trying to basically just hold them up. We might get a Mexico, well, a similar situation to Mexico. Mexico? To Monaco in reality, where some cars just holds everyone else up by time for a pit stop. Pulling with a mechanical failure here. They are still happening, as it turns out. I swear if there's a crash. Well, Fluke has also now gotten a mechanical fault, so we could have a different type of crash. Ooh. Yeah, I think one of these two is going to eat the wall if they keep this up. Because Nieto and Master are just running side by side. One of these two is going to eat wall at one point if they keep up the aggression here. And they go side by side in the castle. You absolute lunatics. I'm going to give you a few laps to just enjoy this, though, while they keep this up. And we have a yellow flag and damage on Molo Bolo.
There's a yellow flag now.
Molo has crashed.
Now we see this was at turn 15. Just flies into that crash. That will have knocked their confidence, I'm sure.
Crash the wall, destroys his tires and front wing by the looks of it. That is unfortunate for the Haas driver. And these two aren't done yet. They are still going side by side here. That's a hard tire awaiting the Haas, and I would assume a new front wing, unless they give them the Cosby treatment. Nieto is now taking the lead. Finally, there's no more side by side, as both of them have burnt their tires a little bit here now, and the mediums will start to maybe have a slight advantage. The soft tires that have been burnt a little bit too aggressively for my liking. See you in here to escape before the pain. See you later. Hope you have a good time at work. Which sounds like an oxymoron, but genuinely, it's better if you enjoy your work than if you don't. So. But still side by side. These two are going to kill each other at one point. The question is just when and how. That is literally gonna be it. The thing here is that when both of them are overtaking each other back and forth like this, it's actually kind of beneficial because they both end up with peak confidence, which means they have less of a chance of killing each other. Ironically, trying to kill each other is leading to them not killing each other, which sounds, again, like an oxymoron. But in this case, it is just the truth. And Master actually just decides, you know what, I've had enough of this. I go into the pit lane. Soft tire, medium tire is the choice there. And does actually beat the Flug out. Problem is, I think it is too early. There's too many cars to get stuck behind, too many trains to lose a ton of time in. And that, I think, is exactly what's going to happen here. Look at Nieto. The times further down are pretty comparative. But like Liam here, 53.1 versus 52.3, you'll still be losing time on a fresh tire unless you can cleanly get by them. We'll have to see how this one goes. Tez now overtakes for the lead with fastest lap as Flug's failure has escalated.
But the car's definitely not happy. Surely some kind of fault.
Car is not happy. There must be some kind of fault. Yes. Still wish you would elaborate on what fault it is. It's the gearbox, yeah. Gearbox gonna go bye-bye. And we've had the first set of pace-up start here. Singh, we've had Mourinho, Poling, and Molobolo. Well, Molobolo was kind of forced. You get the idea. Master now being held up by their teammate. And again, the question is just how much time are you losing to the leaders while this is going on? And the answer to that is not a lot, because you got fastest lap. It's still using a lot of tire, though, without that much of a benefit. So I still think Master is going to get in trouble down the towards the end of this. We had a very minor yellow flag there, as Failures had a lockup.
Now this is where the RB driver's involved. Nothing wrong so far. Oh, and the car locks up. What caused that, I wonder?
At least you avoided the wall this time. But yeah, in theory, Master is still in the lead. But there's no question that they're losing a lot of time right now. Needs to clear Pocanello, needs to clear Bowling, and then they'll be very, very happy. Failure onto a hard tie here. Gonna try and get some undercutting done. But yeah, we are getting to the point now where the rest are going to start pitting. As for assault, things are going to change. Water now into the pit lane alongside Bowling. Medium tire for the Ferrari. What awaits the Red Bull here? Soft tire. Flug. Soft tire and Bowling. Soft tire for basically everyone, I think, except for that one medium. And Bowling here somehow has figured out how to do shenanigans. As Taz, mechanical fault escalates.
There. Oh dear, that's not what they need right now.
I think the AI cooked with upgrades kind of too late. We'll have to see mind. But yeah, Taz's failure has escalated, and Nieto now has been given the go-ahead. Jimmy has actually gone for a hard tire, and now mechanical failure for Nieto as well. Mechanical failures galore. Can Nieto's mechanical failure, though, be fixed? That's going to be the big question. I would assume not, because unless it's on the ERS, the car looks ready to go bang bang. That's now into the pit lane to retire. Damn, Cosby didn't react. Very disappointed. The reality is Taz went into the pit lane to get a new set of hard tires and got undercut by their teammate. Singh is now ahead of Taz. Merchant is now ahead. Master's now ahead. The undercuts really being potent around here, unsurprisingly. Taz even getting overtaken by Water. So, net fourth at the moment. Longer you go, the worse it is actually going to get for you here. Fastest lap in the hands of the Merchant. Nieto and Kaiser are both pitting now, so let's see where the race leader is going to exit, as a hard tire is the choice of the day. Looks like that is the same for the Red Bull. And the race leader here does actually beat Tess out of the pit lane. So they're kind of still where they started, but you can already see just how much time has been lost. There's now 5 seconds between Taz and Warden and Singh. They were running basically very, very close together just a couple of laps ago. So hard tire, probably not what you would bet your money on here. Points are possible, actually, is what Poconaldo says, as David now does in fact pit onto a soft tire. Poconaldo finds themselves down in 13th. Not too far off the points, just 3 seconds basically. So yeah, points are definitely possible and on the bracket. And with a couple more incidents, maybe get more than just a 1. We shall have to wait and see here. We're speeding this one up a little bit. Right now, we're basically just waiting for the next incident or pit stop, as Corners does, in fact, pit. Soft tires for the Williams car. And currently, the grid is still pretty close, with the exception of Molobolo, who must have picked up rear wing damage somewhere, I think. No? You're 1.5 seconds, you're a minute slow. You had your incident, but that shouldn't account for a minute. Well, Molobolo probably has some weird damage somewhere that is slowing him down quite a bit. But yeah, from first to last, after 20 laps here, 30 seconds. Fastest lap goes the way of Nieto, not giving up even with those hard tires being put on the car. And yeah, Taz is losing a bunch of time right now, falling down to 9th. And honestly, with the hard tires combined with the damage, I think Taz is going to have a hard time scoring points there. And Fluve has, in fact, become dead in the water, if you will. Damage bad enough that he will have to retire. The question is, do you get to the pit lane before your car explodes? Are we going to get a safety car here, courtesy of the Fluge? Looks like Fluke might actually make it back to the pit lane. It's still technically racing, but losing a lot of time here for the cars that are just stuck behind at the moment. Is Tess going to force Fluke to stay out? They did. We have a safety car. Because Fluke was forced to not enter the pit lane. Okay, this is just stupid by all means of the imagination. Flug here was forced to stay out and couldn't retire as a result. And because of that now, we have a safety car. And of course, we do need to do our paparazzi work. Taz will be DSQ'd from the championship for forcing an unsafe situation. What is this? But yeah, the question now is, Miedo is probably going to stay out, Kai's is probably going to stay out, everyone's going to get boxed up again. This kind of benefits Master. Going to lose a couple of positions. But I would assume, again, just Nieto to stay out, if even he does. So, honestly, this kind of just nullifies the race. It doesn't really benefit anyone in particular. It screws Corner over the most, let's be honest. Screws David over quite a bit. But apart from that, the main thing here is it's just going to nullify the race. I still feel like this is a bit of a weird one. As we see now, everyone coming to pit lane. Is Nieto going to come into pit lane? No, Nieto stays out, and I expect Kaiser to do the same. And honestly, this could work out for them. Because, depending on where Kaiser comes out, Kaiser couldn't beat Water or Master. Master with a hard tire, Water on a hard tire, they're going to go till the end. This could get very, very interesting. Corner's also elected to stay out. Which makes sense, mind you. But we're going to have a lot of hard runners here just going all the way till the end. Coconaldo now somehow finds himself just one position away from points on a medium tire. Medium tires can go to the end from here. Like, you can do it on a soft tire even. So, all in all, depending on what the AI does, we might actually not see another pit stop. The best time person. Did autocorrect get you, Poconaldo? preservation. I know you fixed it, but it was still just funny. But yeah, it's kind of wild that we kind of forced a safety car by forcing an overtake. Nieto's mechanical fault has escalated, even though the game doesn't explicitly say so. And we'll be taking a look at that in just a moment. At least the poor soul is at work and doesn't have to see the pain and suffering being presented. Did that fault just escalate twice? Because we just got another message about it. Do we have... yeah. We have an escalated engine fault and we have gearbox troubles. Nieto's car has decided that we are done with this race. We're giving up. We are giving up. Clean restart here for everyone involved. I'm still curious how the hard runners here that have used the tires are gonna have it. Corner's gonna need to pit again. There is a lot of tire burnish going on, so we're probably gonna see more pit stops, I would think. But for now, we'll just speed this up a little bit. Nieto is gonna basically be holding everyone up with the damage, and immediately does get overtaken by Master. Needs to try and stay within that DRS range, but that's gonna be difficult with a major engine failure and also a gearbox failure. That is going to be a little bit challenging, methinks. Nieto might be Alonso. Oh. Second, he gets a chance to score some good points. The car just says no. It is unfortunately just how it be sometimes. Sing now with a mechanical failure for Cosby's. Oh, for Cosby's shenanigans. And Kaiser 2 picks up a mechanical fault here. But this isn't over. We can still get more safety cars. Still get more safety cars. Cosby opens his mouth, asks the McLaren TP, and Singh gets penalized for it. Have some finishing points, now P14. Yeah, you've fallen backwards somehow. I don't know exactly how you pulled this off. It's pretty amazing in its own right. But yeah, the question now is going to be, are we going to see any more cars blow up? And I think the answer to that is going to be yes. The second thing is that having Kaiser and Nieto run together like this is definitely losing a lot of time for the cars further behind. Look at this. 49, 50, we see 47 for the top three. So Nieto and Kaiser are currently creating quite a stretch in the field. And that is going to cause some problems for, well, everyone that wants to get a good result here. Corners is getting very close to needing to pit here, and honestly it was expected. Traffic is going to be absolute hell for the Williams driver. No way around that. Nieto now on the brink of falling outside of the points with the damage, and Corners finally do in fact pit. I assume there's another soft. No, it's actually a medium. Okay. Can be a bit aggressive on that with just 16 laps remaining. I'll have to see what comes of that. But Tess has been completely shuffled out of this this race. Nieto is probably about to suffer a very similar fate, unfortunately. It remains to be seen, as Pocanaldo has been overtaken by his teammate. No idea what's going on here with the Haas driver. Sorry, Haas? With the Alpine driver, as Singh's fault now also escalates. Did Cosby say anything in chat? No, he didn't even get penalized for anything. We both will, Poker. Water now has actually overtaken Master for the lead with 15 laps to go here. Singh is trying to keep up, but with damage, that's going to be a little bit difficult. David's in here fighting for 5th, but as you can see, Kaiser is just buying the top 4 here. So much time. So much time is being bought by the Red Bull driver with the failures. It's actually kind of nuts. Come on, I'm getting penalized for nothing. What's the phrasing? No, you're not getting penalized for nothing, Cosby. You're getting penalized for thought crimes. Bailey actually comes in the pit lane. Is he just brave? Soft tires, 13 laps to go. I mean, you can make up the time. Oh, it's actually a medium tire. I thought it looked red. There is red there. It made a fool of me. But yeah, medium tire, 13 laps. You better go full send with 12 seconds to 16th. That's going to be an interesting one for sure. Right now, Singh also does in fact pit. We've seen Molobolo pit too, but Molobolo is kind of out of contention already. And Singh actually still managed to stay ahead of Kaiser after pitting, even with the damage suffered. Are we going to see something incredible here for the McLaren driver before the car goes bang bang? Alpine is in the points. The other Alpine is struggling at the other end. Up into 13th now, so not as bad as it could be. Needs to clear another 3 cars though for both Alpines in the points. Ronaldo still has a rough job ahead of him. Cecilia being overtaken by a basically crippled McLaren is not what I had on my bingo card today, but there it is. It happened. And Nieto finally goes in the pit lane, decides to get a soft tire on. Pray for another safety car in like 5 laps time. Try and take advantage of that. Never mind, the engine goes bye-bye after exiting the pit lane. There we go. That's the angle that I want. We're doing a bit of a photo shoot here. Apologies. There we go. Our second retiree from an engine failure of today is Nieto. The car did not survive being parked in the pit lane, and right now it's just huffing and puffing all over Taz. You're getting crop dusted at the moment. You might want to get some distance to that Sauber before it explodes. Welcome back, Lando. Fastest lap goes to Singh in a crippled McLaren while the other McLaren is getting crop dusted. Oh no, don't crash, please. No, are you gonna block him out again? Honestly, if Taz did the exact same thing again and blocked a car to get a safety car, I would have penalized the McLarens. At that point, I would have had to. Like, it would actually have helped Singh here out tremendously if there was a safety car right now. Probably wouldn't be able to jump, you know, all 3 of these guys, but still, it would be a very much amazingly helpful. Nieto has retired with the engine going bang bang. Ronaldo somehow up into the points here. Damn, he just worked better. What? He's getting sent to Timo. Oh, Taz now has exploded. Couldn't force Cosby to cause the safety car. Might cause one themselves instead. David now in the pit lane. Comes out in a load of traffic. And unfortunately can't really force their way ahead. Taz in the pit lane, no safety car. Does retire safely right there. Are we going to see any other retirees with just 10 laps to go here? Singh here is gaining almost 2 seconds a lap on the leaders. If the car was healthy, Singh would be in for a very, very good chance to win here. Can still pull it off, but it's going to be quite the challenge. Going to be quite the challenge. As Cecilia elects to pit for a soft tire. Jimmy does the same thing. Sauber has truly surpassed the Ferrari strategy on this one. Needs to be said. But yeah. Are we going to see punctures here? That's going to be the big one. Are we going to see David? Are we going to... Oh! Singh, mechanical fault. Escalating. Is it a deadly fault, or are you still alive? Wait for the finish line to see. Looks like we now have 2 major faults on Singh's cars. No, might be straight up a retiree. We also have a yellow flag, as corners have done some cornering.
Here's the replay. That's it. That's the spin. And I wonder,
Corners has failed to corner, and Singh has in fact retired with the damage. Master now, with a fresh soft tire, will try and chase down Water and Merchant. And GG Body is also in the pit lane here. What is happening? Why is Alpine being given this for free? It's illegal. Should not happen, but Failure is definitely coming to get some of it back. And honestly, so is David. Fresh tires further down the order are going to hunt back those points. Cosby seems to be not having fun. I am not having fun. Unfortunate. How Alpine top 6? They haven't pitted yet. And the cars behind have, so they are kind of chasing you down at the moment. Poconaldo here will have to defend like a lion, as they say. We just come back to the McLaren Honda. Both cars retire from a engine failure. You're not wrong. Poconaldo, yeah. But right now, Failure is, in fact, just gonna bully him in the castle section. Bly now with a mechanical failure. It doesn't stop for Sauber. The pain is permanent. 5 laps to go here. 5 chances to mess up. And right now, we also have David looking to get in on the Poconaldo fun here. Basically, already eating that rear wing as we speak. And somehow doesn't get that overtake done even with DRS. That's insanity. And then we have Cecilia and Kaiser further back, who also are not gonna allow a free meal to go to waste here. Poconaldo is still alive somehow, doing their best to protect their teammate as it stands, as Liam has somehow moved up into 4th place here. The Alpines are doing something they aren't allowed to. A red flag would be funny. Do you volunteer Liam as tribute, Lando, or it's a Poconaldo you want to sacrifice for the red flag? Is F125 enjoyable? I've had fun, but I haven't played in like a couple of weeks. I just haven't had time to do it. I'm not gonna lie, just haven't had time to sit down and play it. Question is, will Water and Merchant stop Master? They could. They could also take each other out. We don't know yet. Yellow flag. Rolling in the pit. We have a full safety car. Who has done something stupid? It's not Liam. It's not Mourinho. It's not Failure. Doesn't look like it's Poconaldo, Immigreen, or David. Kaiser looks to be okay. GG Body looks fine. Is it Molobolo? Who's done the dumb? Oh, it is Molobolo. He's just parked in the middle of the track for some reason. Safety car. Safety car. Molo has retired on lap 47. What will Water do? Are we going to see a mad rush to the pit lane? Because Master will probably not pit here. Let's be honest. Genuinely, I don't think anyone should pit here. Celia gets immediately penalized with a mechanical failure. Well, Master can actually pit safely, so Master should actually pit no matter what. But apart from that, there's no need to take the gamble. It's just 4 laps remaining. There's a car in the middle of the track. And Water stays out. Merchant decides to pit. Merchant decides fresh softs is worth it. Master stays out. Liam, what will you do? Stays out. Mourinho, out. Failure, out. Poconaldo stays out. Immigreen, David, Kaiser, everyone is staying out right now. Is Corner's going to do the same? Yeah, Corner stays out too. Everyone, with the exception of Merchant, decided that pitting wasn't worth it. The question now is, are we going to have any more racing laps? Lap 49, underway. 3 laps to go. We are under safety car conditions. Words will be had. I love that the Ferrari TP is just like, words will be had after Water decides to stay out. The safety car is ending. We'll have one final racing lap here. Welcome back, Abu Dhabi. I shouldn't say that. People are gonna go wild in the comments. But yeah. Welcome back. The one lap shootout. Crash tires for Merchant. Poconaldo will be praying. Mourinho will be praying. We're under green flag conditions here. Water leads them all away. How is this going to end? Who is going to be losing out here as a result? Currently, Water is just going to need to deploy everything they have, and even that might not be enough. And then we have Merchant further down, trying to get Master. But look at this, Master's already looking for anger. And Kaiser has crashed, he's out. We have a red flag on the final lap of the race. This might bug the standings.
But oh, they can't avoid making contact, and that won't do their confidence any good. It's not going the way the team...
Kaiser has thrown a wrench in the plans here with a red flag. And red flag on the final lap is a source of bugs. Let's pray we do not get hit by one. And I need to force Justin to manually calculate the results again.
That was a bitterly disappointing.
Most speed Water takes a win. I think this is accurate. I think we avoided any shenanigans. Kaiser crashes out and still secures a point because of the red flag. You can't make this up. Kaiser decided, nah, screw it. The car's already broken. We do a little bit of spin here. We secure a point. You can't actually make this up. 15 positions gained for Mike, 13 for Liam. Water takes the win here. Shalin Maskim second. Then we have the runner-up Merchant. Mourinho. Poconaldo gets 7th. We have Immigrant 8, 9 for David. And Kaiser, who crashed, somehow gets 10th. A very, very weird day for racing as a whole. With that, drivers then, Mike is still pretty healthy in the lead here. We'll have to, of course, add the other points, but as things stand, Mike is having a good time. Must Be the Water moves up to 3rd, up 6 places. Shelly Master moves up 7 places. And there's a lot of movement here, all things considered. Flat Out Corners, the only one who has yet to score a 2nd point. But with Cecilia now actually scoring points here, every driver has at least been in a point scoring position, or rather point scoring finishing position, once. Constructors, RB are continuing their strong suit here. Ferrari gained a decent chunk of points, but with Floof DNFing doesn't really do them any favors. Mercedes here finally scores a healthy bunch of points, move up to 8. Sauber, who had a very, very promising start to this race, is now the team at the bottom. Alpine is the 7th team at the moment, so it's a bit of a weird one. We'll have to see how things get. Yes, we do need to add Qatar's points. And again, I'll be doing that after the stream, most likely. Okay, regulation modes here. The financial changes got voted through. Not really going to have any effect on the save because we need to remake it every season to ensure that we don't get Super Saiyan cars. Replace some of our parts here, and we are going to head to Australia, the home of the Flug. And with the Flug having a mechanical failure here, having fresh parts, should be a chance for the Flug to get a little bit of homestay redemption for the Ferrari team. I'm looking forward to the Crashgate reporting on the RPG channel. You actually have the perfect amount of firepower to do that, because this actually does look kind of like Crashgate. To spin on a safety car restart in the first corner to red flag the race to get yourself 1 point. Remember tactic cars, we will do that. We shall do that. I might need to go back for that. Sorry, I'm not following Edster. You did retire, yeah. You're correct on that, Nieto. But you didn't crash. Your car just gave up. For Crashgate, yeah. Crashgate is already upon us. Hello, Shrewd. Bro. Yeah, you had a decent first half of the race, and then your car just decided that, nah, we're doing too good. We're doing too well here. This isn't allowed, and just, yeah, went boom. One week until we are in Australia, the land of the flugs. Let's pray that the AI hasn't done anything stupid to any of you. But knowing that it's the AI, someone is always getting screwed over. And I think I've said this before, but these championships aren't really about how well you set up your driver, how well you set up your team. They are purely who gets screwed over the least by the AI. That is who wins these championships of ours. Do I usually skip practice and qualify or manage both of them? The main benefit by not skipping practice is you can manage your tires. If you don't need to manage tires, I would generally skip practice. I just do it most of the time anyways, because I don't find it entertaining or fun. It's the same thing. If you do it 1,000 times, it's not going to be any better. You don't really gain anything from doing practice that you would really need. It's good to do at the start if you're new to the game, just to learn the ropes. The skipping practice is fine. I do qualify manually because the AI likes to use tires when they don't really need to. But if you don't care for your tires, you're happy with running, use tires, have less soft, that sort of thing, you can definitely send both qualifying and practice and not have a problem. It basically just comes down to tire management more so than anything else. Taz, for your sake, you better qualify as far from me as you can next race. We even have threats in chat. Okay. Car analysis. Let's go back to the Sauber. 5th, 6th, and 7th in cornering. 11 in top speed. The Sauber has actually improved since Baku. Sauber has improved since Baku. Ferrari is still a little bit wonky. High speed cornering. Likes top speed. It's similar to Sauber, honestly. Not really that far off. McLarens are also pretty decent. Let's be honest. A very, very good car. Very good all-around car. Lacks dirty air tolerance and tire preservation. But that isn't really a problem around here because most teams do lack those two things. So McLaren is still rather competitive. Not gonna bullshit that. The Red Bulls here. Are they so uncompetitive that they needed to crash? Survey says maybe yes. They're pretty far behind the medium. They're not super far behind on low. High isn't that far behind either, all things considered. But the engine cooling is pretty bad still. And the top speed leaves much to be desired. Mercedes. Actually probably the best team right now. Just looking at the cornering here. 3rd, 5th, 7th, 9th. The Mercedes resurgence has begun. They finally learned how to build a car. They have top speed, they have low speed, medium, high speed. They have everything they need to win races now. The question is, can the drivers figure out how the brake works? Because clearly in Mexico, they had no idea how to brake a car. Right now, Mercedes is looking very, very dangerous. Alpine. Yeah, you're lucky to score points, Focanaldo. How you got 4th and 7th, 6th last race is beyond me. That car should not do that. Williams, unfortunately, in a very similar box. They have DRS, but apart from that, they don't really have much else. If the AI is kind to both Alpine and Williams, you can still score points, don't get me wrong, but you aren't expected to. And honestly, it's kind of similar both here for Haas. RB, who is currently leading, is falling down the order here on cornering. They still have their top speed, but we'll have to see if that is going to be enough to keep them in the top spot. Finally, Aston, who focus on DRS, is unfortunately not a great team. No in cornering, no in top speed. DRS is not really going to help them if they don't get close enough to use it. And I think that is the main weakness right now that the Aston is experiencing. There's the team standings. just going to take a quick look here, and then I'll look at you, but I think we'll be seeing it here. Aston has scored some points, but they're still not going to excel a ton. Sauber should have basically had a win last race, so I don't think this list really is accurate, but it's hard to judge, really. Maybe Ty can finally be happy. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. But now, though, we're ready for Melbourne. We're ready for the Flug homeland. Let's see if he crashes out in the first corner. Because that would be peak irony. Okay. We are going to have rain here. The heaviest of rains. Because can't have in the last race. So, Melbourne it is. Let's go to qualifying. While I figure out who is bugging me on Discord. There are double points, I do believe, yes. If not, Mike just needs a good result to be able to seal the championship right here. I don't remember how Mike did in... Qatar, though.
Great.
He might have already kind of sealed the deal. I have to check Steam and just find, because I did screenshot it before the stream, so I could have a reference. Let us see here. So,
Currently P1. Okay, cool the tires.
so Mike didn't actually score any points, as far as I can see, in Qatar. So that still, you know, comes into play. Yeah. The question is just, where does everyone else stack up? Which, honestly, we might as well take a quick look at right now. So, the ones closest to Mike... Find the correct screenshot. Just give me a second. So, Bolomolo scored 7 points. Still doesn't really bring him that close. Water scored 5. Again, similar issue. Kaiser scored, I believe, 0 or just a 1 point. So, all in all, David scored 10 points in Qatar. Matheus Marinho was the big one with 13. So, Mike still has a pretty healthy 10-point lead on virtually everyone, as far as I know. So, yeah, Mike is still pretty solid out front. He just needs to, you know, be solid, not make a lot of mistakes, and then the title will be his. Is race engineer very important for the drivers or nah? The main thing the race engineers is going to give your drivers is a mentality boost if they are high overall. And basically they just help with maximizing confidence. So they are kind of important, yes, because they give your drivers buffs that will have quite a significant effect on your race pace. So yeah, I would say if you are playing this game unmodded, race engineers are quite important. And you might want to upgrade them if you have the opportunity. I wouldn't waste like 5 to 10 million to upgrade one, unless it's a really low one at 70%, 70 overall. But in general, if you have a chance to replace one for a better one, most of the time it is going to be worth it. Okay, Q1 here. Corners, Bowling are doing their final runs, and with that we have the bankers completed here. Liam and Pocanaldo, both of them are in danger, as well as Master, Floof, and Nieto. Floof can't be allowed to be knocked out in Q1 at home. That would be heresy. Don't be cocky now, Crosby. The second you get cocky, you get punished, remember? And since you have no engine components to explode, that means that it would just be a crash this time around. You know the rules. Hey, Liam is already on a fast lap, and he's probably going to regret that because traffic. Already lost approximately 6/10. But should still be able to improve his time. Just barely, though. Up to 16th here. Nieto, in a very, very similar boat, does not improve enough. 18th. Is out. Will not have enough time to do another run, unfortunately. The traffic here being a huge, huge problem. Pocanaldo in an even worse boat in terms of traffic. 26.9 in the first sector. That is basically the Alpine driver out here. No chance of an improvement. It's not happening. This is not gonna happen, unfortunately, for the Alpine driver. I can't imagine it. Yeah, 31.7. Improves their time. Does not improve position. And honestly, Flufin now, 8 tenths down. Well, 5 tenths basically if you compare to water. But close to 8 tenths down in that first sector from the best time. That's a huge gap that needs to be rectified. It's going to need a killer final sector here to get out of danger. Water. Terrible middle sector. Could be problematic here. And Floof only goes 18 fastest. Corner. Again, those 7-8 tenths that I was speaking about from the best time. Corners is probably going to knock out Liam here, I would think. And then we have Master, who could actually knock out Water. Because they both Ferrari drivers eliminated here in Q1. At one of their drivers' home race, basically. We'll have to see what Corners can do. Corners goes 4th fastest, knocks out Liam. What can Master do here? The Mercedes is expected to be dominant. Can Master live up to expectations here? Goes fastest. And with that, we have both Alpines and both Ferraris alongside Nieto out in Q1. Poconaldo is still rewatching that last race. Points woo. As he just comes 21st in qualifying. 21st in qualifying in a wet race is probably not something to woo over, my friend.
Green light.
If I'm gonna have to be honest. Okay, Merchant stole 7 tenths from us in that first sector. We'll have to see if we survive through qualifying here, or if we need to go again. The banker laps are happening. Welcome back, Mike. How the hell did I manage to get 6 from pit start? Safety cars, 5 cars exploding. You get the idea. Basically just a bunch of unfortunate incidents for everyone that wasn't you. Okay. Banker laps are out of the way. Mike returns and is immediately on the brink of getting eliminated here, 11th. Then we are pulling Singh, David, Mourinho, and Taz. Both McLarens and both RBs on the chopping block at the moment. The fact that Master's only a tenth off my driver is insane. Well, my driver did get held up by like 8 tenths to a second in the first stint, so it's not that surprising. How am I able to play the game continuously without getting bored? I played 4 seasons and I'm already getting bored. Just make challenges for yourself. I enjoy the management style type of games like this, so I expect them to be somewhat repetitive. So if you don't enjoy that repetitiveness, then these games probably aren't for you. But in my case, I'm fine with it. I'll play a different team. I'll try and do something different, like the maximum weight, the around the grid, where we take a new team every time we win, that sort of thing. So there are ways to make challenge in this game. I do want to do one that was suggested to me, where I take a driver with 1 overall but max growth rate and see how long it takes to take a title. But we'll have to see. I don't think that's happening anytime soon. And both Singh and Pulling here, terrible first sector times. Singh is out. Pulling is out. Failure. Has a pretty healthy lead here. They get through to Q3. It is basically a done deal. What are we expecting here? Jimmy is in danger. Failure is probably going to send him to the danger zone. 4th fastest right now. Mourinho, can you knock out Bowling? Bowling in danger, but Mourinho doesn't do it, well, enough. Taz sends Mourinho straight out here. Jimmy Bly, Bowling, not the best first sectors. They'll need to find something in the final sector here to survive. And right now there is a Red Bull in the way of Kaiser. Kaiser does improve. Bly does not improve. Neither does anyone else really in the bottom 6 here. Holding, Singh, Cecilia, Bly, Bowling, and Mourinho all at the second hurdle. As even beats my driver. Heresy. Trough is a challenge in itself. That provides some fun, I guess. What? Singh is the second down. Singh is out, yes. The season I'm actually into mechanical failures and shenanigans, I win. I might win the whole thing. Yes, you might, actually. Goatiums putting the tractors into Q3. They are very goated. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. They somehow got both the Williams into Q3.
I'm green.
Banker laps now are happening. Just had to hop on to a quick press release. Welcome back, Ed. Appreciate the press release. I'll be taking a look at that after stream for sure. Okay, so the Williams here is having a good time, as it turns out. 3 seconds off the pace as things stand before we do the final laps. Failure is out early, so is Master. Master's already on the fast lap here, and it is purple. First, purple middle. Are we going to have triple purple here for Mercedes? Are they actually staging a comeback? It is, in fact, triple purple. And the time to beat is improved by 2 to 3 tenths. That is a little bit of time that needs to be gained here. We'll have to see if they can actually pull that off. Master set a very, very competitive time. We are checking, indeed. Tez now starts a fast lap. Is expected to be close to the front. Has had good performances all season. Let's see if they can cause any problems for Master. Failure probably will not. Yellow first sector, but 25-4 is the purple. 25-5 is yellow. Failure could also be a threat here to Master. What are we seeing here from Failure? It was second fastest. Tez now. What can Tez do? Third fastest. The Merchant and Molobolo here, both running together. Merchant goes second fastest. Molo goes fifth fastest. Then we have Kaiser, Gigi Body, Corners. All of them still on fast laps here. Are they going to ruin the fun? GG Body with the purple middle sector. Very competitive lap times here. Or rather, sector times. Also lap times. David could potentially also get into this mix, but needs to find a 10th in the final sector. Goes 5th fastest. GG Body does not improve. 4th final sector as it stands. Corners. And even worse final sector. Lost his full second there. And with that, we have our starting grid. Master, Merchant, Failure, Taz, David, Molobolo, Body, Corners, and Kaiser all starting in the top 9. Renia will be promoted to 10th. Okay, this is going to get interesting because the AI is giving us 2 wildly different strategies. I know who was holding up GG Body there. Kaiser, of course. Master woke a bit too late. Even if they win everything now, they're not going to win the title. Theoretically, I think Master can still win the title because it is double points final race. So if no one else scores points that, you know, could rival him, he could still theoretically snatch the title, I do believe. But yeah, the strategy here is interesting to look at. So I don't know why they've told Verstappen, yeah, lap 53. Lap 53, we go soft tires. You can do it, you have the adaptability. But yeah, it's going to be a dry start, which means we're going to have an absolute mayhem going into the pits. Then we're going to have a inter window, a wet window, and for some reason, the AI wants to give Verstappen a soft stint, while they want to give Hamilton a wet stint. So this could get very, very interesting with the pit stops. And you all know that interesting is not necessarily a good thing for the AI. So this is going to be potentially a train wreck.
Well then, it's not long until we get started here, and we should be in for a tightly contested race. Brace yourself for the Australian Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
That was a terrible start if I didn't see that run for failure. For the most part, teams are kind of staying put. Easy body here gets ahead of Molobolo. We see some movement further down. For the most part, people are still where they started. We're gonna go ahead and retire our vehicles, and we're just gonna basically wait for the rain to arrive.
Yeah, 4.3.
And by extension, the mayhem. Yellow flag also. I didn't see anyone move position though, so I assume it's someone just running wide. Have to wait and see here if someone had a little bit of a moment, but I would believe it is just a slight running wide moment.
Yeah, okay.
Most likely from a Ferrari, seeing that they're both down at the bottom now. Strategy is the average Ferrari strategy. Honestly, you might not be wrong, which is kind of tragic. A lot of cars there starting on used tires. I don't think that's going to be very beneficial. I still believe there's still a... Well, it's just 9 minutes until the rain arrives, so it's not really a bad thing. But Master here has already gained 3 seconds on Merchant, who has elected to go for a hard tire when you aren't doing that many more laps here. Molobolo with a slight lockup. Still in 7th, but that is those tires being killed pretty rapidly. The thing is, he might not actually get reeled in because Merchant is on the hard tires. Tire advantage is still a thing. So, yeah. Master might actually just have gotten himself a free pit stop for when the rain arrives. Because Merchant is not going to be able to reel him fully in, I think. Everyone's just going to stand there 3 minutes until the rain arrives. There's no need for anyone to manage tires here, you see. Except, of course, for Molobolo, who is now falling down the order after that lockup and basically losing all their confidence and all their tire. We might actually see a puncture from the Haas. If they do another lap, which they might, because rain doesn't really go up that quick. It has started raining. But yeah, they're still going to need to wait 4 minutes, maybe even more than that, to get directly onto a wet tire. The Molobolo here might eat a puncture, and right now, both Haas... Sorry, the Haas is holding up both Ferrari and Alpine. Kais is actually the first one into pit lane here. You're going for an Inter. That's an interesting choice. To be fair, it's towards the back, so maybe not as terrible as I'm trying to make it out. But Molobolo went around again. We're gonna have a puncture here. Yep. It happened. It happened as expected, and we'll just have to see just how quickly Kaiser flies here. Master now decides that Inter is the way to go, and honestly, it might be. It might very well be. Depending on how long this gap here takes to bridge, you can gain 5 to 6 seconds a lap on an Inter over anything else, so Master might just have done the best thing they could. P20, but I'm still busting with P7. That's fair. He did in fact puncture as soon as he hit 20. That's when you can do that. So that is in fact what happened. And they've put the wet on. I mean, I understand it, but you're still going to cook those wets a little bit before you get over 2 to 3 millimeters. So we'll have to see how quickly those gets immolated, if you will. Now we are going to see everyone enter the pits, and we are going to see some mayhem. The first 4 here should be fine. It's a 10-second gap. It is wet tires for Merchant. I forgot just how epilepsy inducing this place is. I apologize if anyone feels dizzy or anything like that. My apologies. Yeah, Master is in the lead here. He's still going to be quicker than everyone else. And Kaiser, who actually started towards the back, might still have made a good choice here. We'll have to see how this one works out. Bluefoot's done some jumping. Niedo's done a little bit of jumping. For the most part, I don't see enough position changes here. Maybe I'll have to take a look at the standings to see who gets shafted. Water and Bolamola are the two big ones, but Bolamola kind of did it to... Sorry, that's the wrong one. Yeah. Bolomola's the big one that got shafted for the most part. Not really too many position changes at the moment. I'll have to see how Kaiser and Master do compared to the wet runner, so that's going to be the interesting one. And if they can get enough time here before it goes truly wet. 7-second lead right now for Master. Ambrose gets slapped. Let's see if you can get the gap you need, because you need 19 seconds around here. It's not impossible, but it's getting more and more improbable. And it is going to stay fully wet here for the next 10 or so laps, so unless you are planning... No, Master does in fact pit now. And it's going to fall down here to 4th place. It's not the worst thing ever, but it is going to be hard to get those places back. And the other question now is going to be, what will Kaiser do? Will Kaiser stay on these inters and gamble on surviving till the next gap comes, or are they going to have to eat the penalty and kind of go all the way to the back of the grid? Because if Kaiser stays out, he's going to be a bit of a chicane. And he does in fact stay out. We'll see the difference now in lap time now that it actually has become wet. 39. 35 versus 39. Each lap you are stuck behind Kaiser, who is going to kind of just gather everyone right now. You are losing 4 to 5 seconds. At least he does seem to be easy to overtake. Mourinho and Corners have both done that. But Kaiser can definitely ruin the races of everyone behind him, including his teammate. But yeah, as you can see, overtaking isn't really an issue right now for anyone who does not want to be stuck for a long time behind the RB. Adding my own thoughts into RPG about back. As I said, I'll take a look at it after stream. Kaiser right now, as expected, is falling all the way back. Finally accepts that this is not going to work, goes for the wet tire. Master still not really having any chance of getting into striking position, so going into wet, while it is a good gamble, could have paid off. In this case, it has actually backfired quite horribly. Currently, we are basically just waiting for it to start drawing up a little bit again, like here. And now the question is, who's going to actually jump on Inters? Because it is going to be now about 8 laps or so of Inter weather. And if you are clever, you do take the opportunity to swap tires here. Also, sadly, they abandoned the F1 Manager series. It had so many potentials. Yeah, but the F1 Manager games, unfortunately, it's just the definition of wasted potential. All of them have been released in unfinished states, and that has severely affected sales. It's just the reality of the situation, and that is basically why it died. They didn't have the necessary time or resource to actually finish the games. How many points are P5? Sorry, P5. 5 points? It's 1 for 10. Who is currently P5? I don't want to do the math, David. That's 6 points then. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it should be 6 points. It's too hard to do math, but yeah, 6. I dread having to add the numbers together at the end to figure out who actually wins. But we'll have to see how that one goes. Your tally? Like how many points you have? So currently, so Chow, you have 10 points scored over the course of this season. 10 sparkling pointies. You are 16 out of 20 drivers. As things stand. On it, Nero. Appreciate it, Justin. Appreciate it. Pulling, are you doing the Inter strategy? You are. I'm proud of you. Teacher does not like that. Shocking news. The thing is, my room gets incredibly hot because, again, it's just the window is facing the sun, and the sun just doesn't set at this time of year. It's up 24/7. There's no such thing as darkness for the next 2 months. It doesn't exist. So my room just gets absolutely cooked, and because it is basically ice the rest of the year, I don't want to bother with AC. Which is, again, just self-contradictory, but it's also the truth. Cars are going for Inters right now. We'll have to see if it actually works out for them. Pulling was one of the first ones. And right now, hassling Kaiser. Similarly to how Kaiser hassled others. It's going to get that overtake done, and Inters are going to be quicker. And honestly, by the time we get back to wet tires, everyone will have to change their wet tires anyway, so going into here is the correct choice. Just straight up. And we have a slow stop here for David. They're holding the birthday boy hostage. Corners gets Inters, Mourinho gets Inters. And with that, we have Tess and Master still waiting. Corners also did have a slow pit stop, as it turns out. I'm ahead of my teammate, good enough. Are you, though? If the points added for Qatar, I guess. Yeah, you scored 6 points in Qatar. So you're 1 point ahead of your teammate. You're actually just 1 single point ahead of Liam, as things stands. Okay, double stack for the Sauber team. And Nieto is once again the victim. Blue right now, at home, is also getting a little bit. Bowling should be in the pit lane yesterday. Same for Kaiser, really. They were bold in the first one, they're not bold in this one, and that is hurting them a lot. Test 2 is going to be very upset, as well as Master here, because they are going to get jumped. Potentially here, if they're not careful. One more lap and they would have been in real trouble, but David here might actually get one of them. Unfortunately, didn't get either. Needed them to be stupid for one more lap, as it turns out. Bowling has picked up a puncture. It doesn't stop. The pain is forever, as it turns out. Downforce Daily, that's actually an amazing name for an F1. Like, I was about to say tabloid. Downforce Daily. Oh my god. Yeah. We'll have to see if they've learned any lesson here with Kaiser, but I have a feeling Kaiser is just going to be left out to die. They gave Bowling a wet top. Like, it is getting wetter now, you're correct, but now? In this lap alone, he did 7% worth of damage. I am extremely disappointed in the Red Bull team and will be handing them sanctions. Living the time of your life. Honestly, Kaiser at this rate might actually pick up a puncture, but now everyone should go back to wets. Poland gets a mechanical fault. I think if failure gets a podium, it kind of just ends the championship for the most part. Love to see if Mike actually just throws it away, or if he can get it sorted here. Kaiser is still out on the old wet tires. Does Kaiser not have an extra set of wets? Why is no one pitting? They're gonna go into still the end. We might get that soft tire that Verstappen dreamed about. I am very confused about the Red Bull strategy here. You have Kaiser holding up their teammate. We have a yellow flag, fly with a lockup. I think we had something else. Yeah, one of them locks up, the other one spins.
Round they spin. I don't think it's
What is
much
this?
of a surprise given the conditions here today.
It's not much of a surprise. You're not wrong, commentator. You're not wrong. But yeah, I question the Red Bull strategy of not letting bowling go. Like, why wouldn't you let bowling go? Second bowling gets let go. It basically does almost a double overtake here. But he doesn't need any more wets this race. That's the thing. It's going to start drying up now. Polo went from winning back-to-back to be now P29. That is how it goes sometimes. Have to go now. Farewell, Nero. Thank you for stopping by, Shrewd. Appreciate it. See you next time. Have a good evening. Yeah, at this point, Kaiser is going to pick up a puncture. Like, that is literally the next stopping point. GT body with a lockup and damage.
So let's take a look at the replay. Now this was at turn 3. And the car fails to respond. The conditions clearly causing problems for the drivers.
Some underfloor damage then for GG. And there we go. Kaiser got the puncture he was begging for. The last 10 laps or so. Isn't he going to cleanly get by? Nope. Nope. Not happening. Held up once again. Held up once again. And the track condition has changed to damp. I thought we were going to get a safety car there for a second. Bowling now. The other Red Bull decides, nah, I don't want these, these wets anymore. Thank the Lord that Kaiser actually entered the pit lane there. But yeah, now we're basically going to have inters until we get to a potential, you know, soft tire period at the end. Which could be more chaos. Failure is also lining up a move potentially on Merchant for the lead. Remains to be seen how that one's going to go. Hi Nero, just joined. What did I miss? How many times has C spun this stream? Mexico was interesting for CC. It was basically 2 crashes, a spin, a lockup, and another crash, I think. So, yeah, CC did not have a good time in Mexico. Went a little bit better in Baku, and basically, Mercedes have the best car right now, but qualifying lets you down. P16, now that's more like it. Well, you did have a awful qualifying, as we're going used to. Yeah, CC has not had the best of luck, and honestly, at Mexico, Master 2 was doing a lot of stuff too. Mercedes had 90% of the incidents, basically. Right now, though, we are getting close to the end of the second to last race. One more after this one. And failure with a lockup.
Let's take a closer look. Really treacherous conditions out there.
I'm surprised we haven't had the, you know, the Australian red flag yet. How did you avoid the wall?
The effect that had on the tires.
How did you not hit the wall there, failure? I'm impressed. The meme build is living up to its name, yes. The question now is, who is going to be brave enough to go dry tires towards the end? Who has the adaptability to go dry tires to the end? Sassy being an absolute gremlin is what I wanted to see. Well, you've lived up to expectations, I can tell you that. Cecilia has in fact been a gremlin on track, and we have a crash. Bly. Sorry, a spin from Bly.
And round they go. In the end, just a helpless passenger.
The Saubers have been interesting too. The Saubers are having Mercedes Mexico right now, with lockup spins and everything in between. These 3 cars are running a little bit too close for wet weather, if you ask me. And now Floof is going to get involved. I pray for thee. Master now also is getting involved with failure. Only thing that can slow me down are mechanical failures, and I'm immune to them this season. Somehow your engine will explode in the final race, Mike, with the cockiness. We've seen that before. Yeah, you are jinxing it. You're not wrong. Honestly, if you win this race, I think you just win the title. It could happen. We could also see Master pull off the move that got a trait named after him. And send someone to the Shadow Realm. They have to start from the pit lane for the final race with all new components. That could also happen. That's the reason we had a Shaolin Master trait. It was basically 0 control and accuracy that one season. Man assassinated like 4 title contenders in one move at one point. It was glorious. Are we going to get dry enough here that anyone will actually touch this off? So I don't think so. Question then is, can the gremlin further back here make something happen? Who is the driver? Basically, every driver that you see here is a driver that has been submitted by someone who watches my channel. They made their drivers within a rule set. I edit them into the save file, and then we have them basically compete against each other. So, for instance, we have Mike there above you. He made mechanical failure here. So every single one of these drivers is represented by a viewer who made them, and Cosby, Lando, Justin have taken the role as TPs and have been building cars basically. I'm currently away from home and was on the road pretty much the whole day. Glad I still got to kind of catch the stream. Appreciate it. Hope you're having a good trip, Cornevia. I'll be on the road probably tomorrow for most of the day, so I will be moving. Hopefully to a bit more permanent accommodation this time. Will it change every season? Oh yeah, we have a new grid every season, so every season is self-contained. Same people can apply, of course. For the most part, everything is new for each season, basically. Yeah, I know it's not just you 3, Cosby, but you 3 were the ones that I saw the easiest in chat there. Just to give an example. More so than anything else. Yeah, currently the only real fight on the track is Cecilia trying to get Bly. Maybe Water could try and get Mourinho here. But Merchant is in the lead as we go on the final lap. Failure might actually be able to wrap up the championship here with a 2nd place finish here. There is double points for final race, so I'm not 100% sure. Justin is the points warden. We'll have to see what he says. But as it is believed that we might announce a winner here. Does this new accommodation contain a fire alarm? Yes. Currently, the registration isn't open, Kai. Basically, we spend a week or so setting up rules, and then we open them on Discord after that. I usually announce it. Motion wins, Fairley comes 2nd, Master takes 3rd, David takes 4th, then we have Taz, Gigi Body, Mourinho, Water, Bly, and Cecilia. Looks like she'll score a point here for Mercedes. But I think RB has been a little bit dominant this season. I don't even know if any other team can catch them, even with double points for the final race. We'll have to see. But yeah, Australia is done, and Floof, unfortunately, could not score any points at home.
Sometimes I think you just have to accept that it's not going to be your race.
That'll be quite a blow having to...
Okay. Let's take a look then on how the drivers are doing it. So Mike has 23 points on Kaiser, 32 points on Run, 24 points on Runner. Remember, you can score with double points last race. What would it be? 28 theoretically, if they double the points for pole position past the lap. So theoretically, Kaiser could still nab it, but it would require an insane performance that I don't think we'll see. In terms of the others that have scored points there, David has 39 points, so he's actually a more likely contender to nab it from his teammate. Mourinho here has 36 points, if not mistaken. They two are still in contention, but basically we're going to need Mike here to just not finish the race for anyone to snatch it from them. And apart from that, I don't think there's any real contenders. Water here has 35 points, so yeah. Someone that is within 24 points basically needs to win, while Mike does not score points. And I think RB here probably has won the title, because let's be honest, they have another 10 points on top of this, so they actually have 95. And does have 70, so they're 25 points behind, basically. I think they are the closest ones, but we shall have to see. In terms of driver results here, I don't know, let's see, CZ. Currently 18, scored 1 point here. I believe you scored your first points last race. So we only had 2 point scoring races here, and that was Baku, where you got 3 points, and here where you got the 1. Where can I do in Discord? There should be a link in the description of this stream somewhere. If you can't find it, then I will post it in the chat itself, but it should be there. Yeah, CC finished basically, I believe, 8 at 1 point. 8 at Baku. Past lap and quali aren't doubled? Yeah, so 26 points. Kind of what I expected. I really want AFN to win, but Mike still wins the title. I'm pretty sure that's happening. You go to Mercedes when you want to be someone. You go to V-Cup when you are someone. Damn. Yeah, you still have more points than Corners and Nieto. Nieto has had the worst luck ever. Even worse than what Floof used to have. So everyone has scored points at 1 point. Some scored a few more points than others. Let's just put it like that. Sao Paulo is in 45 days. The AI will have their last chance to screw everyone over with development. Let's head to Brazil. Christopher is being cocky as the V-Cub team principal. Let's see if the AI punishes that. Let's be honest, you should have won Baku Nieto, so you should have a lot more points than you currently do. No, don't say that. You did it to yourself. You all know the rules by now. If you set yourself up to be jinxed in my stream, it happens. It's just that to some people it happens more often than others, like Floof. Whenever he's happy, something bad happens. Whenever Cosby's happy, something bad happens to their teams. It is literally fate at this point. You can't escape it. Run from it, Red. Your cockiness still bites you in the ass. The best part is that you're not even really jinxing yourself anymore. You're just jinxing your team. Your quote-unquote teammate who you are the race engineer for. That is the funniest part about that about your jinxing right now. As I said before, we are in the 2022 Mercedes era now. It's about time we don't win anything. Floof as Merc TV does not count. I love that there's just like a little, no, Floof does not count, don't bring it up. Shut up. Doesn't count. Can someone tally the points with the actual point system to see if my team broke some records for the Hall of Fame? You might revert the points to that system just to, yeah, do the whole Hall of Fame check. But let's first figure out who's been screwed the hardest over by AI here. So Mercedes had the best best car going into help Australia. This is the final race, yes. Let us see if that's still the case. Third, fifth, seventh, ninth. Yeah, I think Mercedes is still pretty much the uncontested number one when it comes to the vehicle. Uncontested number one when you consider solely the vehicle. Ferrari. Best at the high-speed corners. Bad at low speed, doesn't have the top speed. Decent enough car, but Mercedes is still going to be stronger here. McLaren. Good overall car, but let's face it, Mercedes overall is better as it stands. Still going to be competitive though, if you get some good confidence building. Red Bull. Top speed, lacking cornering. You're going to have a hard time, I think, here. A little bit in Brazil. The Alpine. Yeah, Pocanello, if you score points, I'm going to be impressed with you. I'm not going to lie. 17, 17, 15, 13. This car should not be scoring points. You've scored more points than expected. Williams. Merchant dragged this box to a win. It is heresy of the highest order. It should not have happened, but yeah. It did, in fact, happen. The Haas car, not really gonna be competitive, I think. It's not gonna have a good time at Brazil. RB, current leader. Top speed, acceleration, DRS. But honestly, surprising that it has scored as many points as it has. Sauber, 5th, 7th, 7th. In theory, the closest competitor, just purely looking at car versus car. The Mercedes here, not really lived up to the hype. And then we have Aston, who definitely is dead last in quite a few categories. So the air tolerance, DRS effectiveness, and tire preservation is where they excel. Unfortunately, they don't have the cornering or top speed to get to a point where that would matter, which is unfortunate for them. Don't expect results. Worst case scenario, you won't be disappointed. And yet, I still am. 1-2 currently for RB, 17 points gap. Everyone down to P8 can mathematically win the title, including countback by my calculations. Okay. Could be very, very interesting then. No need to look at Alpine. Well, unfortunately, I've already done that. God, please cast me come to the Shadow Realm, I beg of thee. You do know now, Cornevia, that that's going to happen to Merc now. You support Merc, you're begging for the downfall of someone else, you're now going to get punished for it. Do we suck still? Yes. Unfortunately, you do, Pocanaldo. Things have not improved. Really, at all. CC will somehow take out their teammate in the first corner of the race start here with that cocky nose. If it happens, I just want to say that I'm perfectly innocent. I had nothing to do with it. It is all lies and deceit. The only time Floof will ever top a timing sheet. Right here. Nah, that was mean.
Eyes on dash.
I don't really mean it. It's just funny. Who is going to pull a stroll and knock themselves out immediately? Cecilia. Fastest so far. That's scary. The other Mercedes, also fast. Scary. Corner somehow is pulling this train box up to 4th. Okay, banker laps are being set. I believe we are kind of getting ready to the end here. Is Bowling actually on the final lap here? Goes 4th fastest. Currently Kaiser, Pocanaldo, David, Bowling, and Merchant find themselves in the danger zone as Singh splits the Mercedes cars. Oh hell no. Nieto continues the fun here with a spin Nala.
And the rear just lets go. And that certainly wouldn't have
That
been
lawnmower
their plans
business
today.
is booming. Okay. Less than 3 minutes remain here to do an improvement here. Bly is 7th fast at the moment. Nieto will not really be given another chance to improve as a result of the lawn mowing. I'll have to see if anyone else in the bottom 5 here do get an improvement going. David currently is trying to get out of danger. What can David do? GG Body is the one in danger if there is an improvement. There is no improvement from the RB. One RB is out in 19th at the moment. Pocanaldo trying to find improvement, trying to get out of danger. Just needs to hook up the final sector here. We might see Alpine safely out of drop zone. 8th fast at the moment. Kaiser, what can you do? Goes 3rd fastest. Failure. Close to the drop zone here. Gets up to 5th. Floof now is the car in danger as Pulling does not hook up that middle sector. And with that is out. And GG Body goes 16th fastest. Knocks out Floof. But Water and Merchant are still improving. Water knocks out GG Body. GG Body gets knocked out as well. Liam is currently in danger. Nieto is currently on the cusp. Which one of these two is going to knock the other out? That's the big question. Not the best middle sector here. Nieto improves. Merchant now in danger. Survives. That middle sector wasn't good enough for Liam. With that, David, Pulling, Floof, GG Body, and Liam are out in Q1. It's fine. Jesus, P7 Merchant I trust. Can I be fired, please? Honest Pocanaldo, we have decided to give you a lifetime subscription to subscription to what's its face? To Alpine. You're there now forever. Alpine forever. Boeing just beat my first sector. They are.
All the tires and we will box this lap.
We might need to go again with the Verstappen here. I think we're still okay though. Okay, final few banker laps here are being set. The only one we're missing that right now is Failure. Needs a good one here, and has started with a purple first sector, as expected in the second sector. Goes fastest. With that, we should see Failure safely through to Q3. Corners, tries to improve it, can't really get that done. Might be in a little bit of a troubling position here, but we shall see. And right now, Water, Sing, Merchant, Bowling, Molobolo, and Poconaldo in danger. And a lot of them are still just sitting in the pit lane. Bowling though, purple first sector. And a 5 points gap with 46 to play for? Yeah. That sounds correct, Justin. We're actually having praying right now in chat that the drivers perform. Cecilia now, in danger. Merchant, that is a terrible middle sector, my man. And that is going to see you out in Q2, I think. No way you find 2.5 seconds in the final sector. That would be atrocious if you did. What can we expect here? Mourinho and the Saubers are currently the ones in danger. Cecilia starts off strong. Same here with Singh. Poconaldo with a terrible first sector. 3/10 already down. You don't have a lot of time to play with here, and that doesn't help your case. 34-4 as expected. Now it's just hooking up that final sector. 34-3 from Singh, a little bit better. And yeah, Poconaldo here. I don't think you are getting anything done. Mourinho has been pushed down. Fly has been pushed down. And that is unfortunately an improvement in time, but not in position. And we see Mourinho here having a terrible middle sector. Jimmy Blind, not the best of middle sectors either, but could still hook it up in the final one. And does just about that, knocking out their teammate in the process. What can Molobolo do here? Not the best middle sector we've seen. Not the good final sector either. Water could still send both Saubers packing. Failure is also still trying to improve. 17.7. Purple first sector. Terrible middle sector here for Water. The Alpine there, giving it a little bit of slipstream, is not enough. Water is out. And Failure improves to third in Q2. With that, we have our exiters. Nieto, Mourinho, Water, Merchant, Bolomolo, and Poconaldo. Typical Merc Brazil performance. The Merc Brazil buff strikes again. Clearly.
Fine green.
Not a single Q3 appearance this season. That is very, very unfortunate, Poconaldo. But that is just sometimes how it goes. Okay, we are getting ready for the final runs here. Failure is currently on pole position. Master and Cecilia will be doing their best to take that away. I'll have to see if they can actually pull that off, though. That's going to be the big question. Master now on the fast lap. 17.8 in the first sector. It's a little bit off. Needs another 10th, really. Middle sector. Anything other than 34.3 is unacceptable, but it is a 34.3. It is a purple. Can you find that 1/10 you need to knock Failure off pole? You couldn't. Needed to find just slightly more there to get that one done. Tess, 17.9. Still competitive, but would have liked a little bit more in that first sector. What can the second sector offer us here? 34.7. That's not enough. That is 4/10 down on some of these other cars, which is literally how far behind you are. Unfortunately, not good enough, even with that final sector improvement. Jimmy here. is trying to improve. Kaiser with a purple sector. Corner with a green sector. Everyone now is doing their best to take these positions away. But it remains to be seen what they can do. Jimmy improves to 7th. And Failure actually did not improve their time, but did improve one of the sectors. Kaiser right now, 2 purple sectors so far. Is it going to be enough to snatch pole position here? The Red Bulls actually had the exact same time before that happened. Corner goes up to 5th. And Master has finished qualifying here. Cecilia is trying, but couldn't get it done. Failure starts 2nd here, I believe. And with that, Mercedes has a lot of job ahead of them. Master need the pole? Yep. With that, Mike is 1 step closer. Basically, it's already in the bag. Man just needs to basically finish in the points, I believe. And right now, it's set up with a beautiful chance to make that happen. Let's get our cars out of the way. And then we shall see how this goes.
Welcome back, everyone.
What's with drivers leaving my team and automatically being in the championship fight? Just bad luck.
And it's lights out.
Lights out. Away we go. A decent start there for Kaiser. A better start here from Master, who's potentially going to be able to snatch 2nd place immediately from Failure, even on the worst tire. Getting very aggressive right now, but the extra grip of the soft is going to allow Failure to retain 2nd as it stands. No car starting the pit lane with us, which means everyone is happy with the components, I would dare say. And yeah, for the most part, no real movements in the starting positions here. We shall retire our cars and get them out of the way.
Gap 5.4. Hamilton is the car behind.
I see we have more people praying right now in chat. I love that the chat has turned to praying to get the results they want. RNG Jesus is currently converting chat. Kaiser is Failure's only contender around. Well, then Kaiser will need Failure to live up to his name, pull off a Giga Failure, and retire, I believe, is the only real way to throw this away. Because if we take a look here at the points, yeah, gonna need a little bit of a helping hand there. And seeing as there's 26 points there, I do believe you actually do get double points for fastest lap. Probably not for pole position. The fastest lap does seem to pay out double points. Imagine being so bad you need a god to help you. Damn. Kaiser has fallen down to 3rd. Master is currently 2nd. Failure is burning those softs though. That could come to bite him in the buttocks. Then again, we've seen hitting first to be highly advantageous in this. Maybe burning the softs there is the correct choice. Leslie doesn't need to win, she just needs to take out both RBs. Damn. Well, the thing here is, David is down in 19th, unfortunately for him. And CC needs to get past Corners, who's on a hard tire, to chase down Failure. So it needs a little bit of work to make that happen. Please leave me cover alone. You have P2 to fight for. Damn. Please leave me alone. Celia up to 4th now. Can start chasing down Failure. Mercedes here need a little bit of a helping hand, I believe. Failure right now is eating through those tires. Corners with a mechanical failure will lead to a very upsetty spaghetti Failure. But more importantly, has also re-overtaken Cecilia here, even with that issue. And I assume it is ERS based. We'll take a look now as they cross the finish line. It is in fact an ERS based failure, which, depending on what it is, isn't the worst thing to happen to your car. See you later, Nieto. Thank you for stopping by. Pulling now with the mechanical failure as well. Let failure cook his tires. Well, again, we've seen undercuts be very, very potent here. And honestly, we could see that happen again for failure. I don't know if cooking the tires is necessarily a bad thing at this stage in the race. Kaiser is getting a pretty significant lead right now, though, so that could be... That is going to be very, very vital for the Red Bull's chances. But at the same time, failure could also be a little bit cocky and destroy their tires and get a puncture. And destroy their championship hopes in the silliest way possible. We've seen it happen before, it could happen again. What does the Merc part look like? What do you mean? Can you shut up? No, I can't. I live for the jinxing. It's why we do this. I have an idea. What is your idea, Lando? As failure does get into pit lane before a puncture occurs. Are those hard tires? No, they're mediums. They aren't fully dumb. But honestly, this is good for failure. This is really, really good for failure. Look at all the free real estate that failure can use now to just push into with fresh mediums. They're basically going to undercut Kaiser. There's no way around it. Kaiser is not going to go quick enough that that the undercut does not happen. Kaiser would have to do another 10 laps to even have any chance of not making, or rather stopping this. Let's see, what can we actually expect per lap here in undercut potential? It's the second gain in that previous one for failure. 2 more, and the undercut is a fact. Water has pitted onto a medium tire. We'll see if the Tifosi can make the comeback we've been promised. Hit me out right for TP trait randomizer. I can explain it. Post their suggestions, Lando, and we'll see how upset people get. Kaiser. Medium tires. Is failure going to get out ahead? It's going to be close, but I think Kaiser has just barely pulled ahead here. Yeah, needed one more lap there, really, to allow the undercut to happen. So Red Bull has responded beautifully here. Maintained tire advantage over the RB. The question now is pulling going to pose a problem and hold either of these up while we wait for the rest of the cars to pit? Jimmy currently living a little bit dangerously. Does go into the pits to alleviate that problem. Merchant, GG Body, and Molobolo all also come into the pits here. Medium tires for the Sauber. Hard tires for the Williams. And the Haas has also been outfitted with the hard tires, I believe. Body. A lot of hard tires. More than I expect. They are going to try and go long, I believe. Work 1-2 have gone back in time. Well, until they pit and get back to like 5th and 6th. You know how it works. Right now, Failure and Kaiser are gaining more than a second a lap as Mourinho gets a mechanical fault that immediately escalates to an advanced one. The Hasses are not having a good season here after the restart. I assume it has to be ERS related. The engine and ERS are high enough that they shouldn't be affected. But we'll see once the finish line gets crossed. Or rather, the timing line. Nieto comes to the pit lane. Pocanaldo and Singh do the exact same thing, as well as Floof. What tires await these poor, desperate souls? Hard tires for Sauber. Pocanaldo, what are they giving you? They're giving you a slow stop. Floof has received a medium tire. Singh has received a soft. And Pocanaldo has also received a soft and a trip to the back of the grid for his troubles. In terms of what the issue is with, who was it again? It was Mourinho. It is, in fact, the RS related, and it just immediately went to a major failure. Let's say things stay as they are. The standings then would still have Mike here win, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm certain, because no one has enough points to get him. RB would probably still win the championship. Gonna lie. The only way anyone gets this is by knocking RB out. Mercedes didn't score many points. Also in Qatar, they scored 3, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, even if you won 2 this, you are still not getting this one unless you snatch fastest lap on top 2, and then even then, I think it's like a point short, literally. I think you're literally 1 point short from being able to cause any problems with the constructors, even if you do pull off a 1-2. Okay. Are we going to have Mercedes or Mercedes violence here? We're 20 laps into the final race, 50 to go. Looks like a little bit of violence on violence there. But yeah, the longer these guys stay out, the more they are kind of screwing themselves over. Failure and Kaiser now within 10 seconds. And, well, they do need to pit. Master does exactly that. It's a hard tire, and it's a slow stop for Mercedes. Mourinho, medium tire. Pulling comes in as well. What tire waits? It's a soft one. And for Master here, been jumped by not only Kaiser and Failure, but also Bly, Wood, Nieto, Merchant, and Taz. So pitting late here definitely punished you quite a bit now. Needs to overtake 5 different cars just to get back into the top 3. Right now, not really too much can be done about the RB dominance. They've been brilliant all season, and sometimes that's just the way things go. Top 2 trying a 1-stop. I don't think they're going to go for the full 1-stop. I think they're going to put a soft on towards the end. That's what I feel. 1-stop here would be wild, as Bowling comes into the pit lane for a hard tire, and it's a slow stop here for the Red Bulls. Very, very slow stop. And you can just see just how devastating the undercut actually is. Down to 17th, 18th actually after pitting. And that very same fate is very likely to befall Cecilia here too. Welcome home. Yeah, welcome home, AFN. What are the standings? I don't think you want to know what the standings are. Let us give... Oh, the fluid mechanical fault is here, as ordered. So, you're currently failing your job as runner-up, Merchant. You are failing massively, as it stands. You're being beaten by the water boy. Did you score any... Do you have any extra points from Qatar? I don't think so either. So, yeah, you're not having a good time right now. The runner-up Merchant has failed to pull off the merchandise this season. This is the final race we're in here. Celia now comes into the pit lane and is going to exit pretty far down the order. Soft tires. Is Cecilia going to undercut the undercut? Celia trying something different here, something a little bold. We like to see it. And honestly, doesn't lose out a ton. Still going to be traffic to contend with, but there are a little bit of free air there. We'll have to see how this works out. With that, everyone, I believe, have pitted once. And did actually go to older softs too to make that undercut more viable. So, yeah, a pretty bold move here from the Mercedes driver. Or rather, the Mercedes team. Well, that isn't certainly ideal. They found literally DNF'd? Yes. Now that you say it, it is correct. I just checked the notes on the side for points. I must be runner-up. You need to pull off something amazing to pull that off. Pulling has pulled off a second mechanical failure, which tells me there's 2 things in that car that are about to explode. Not ideal. And we have a yellow flag. Water, what have you done?
Let's see what happened there. We're watching the Ferrari. Everything's all right here. And there goes the steering. They were just unable to do much about it.
Can I explode? No, I'm gonna pass. Thank you very much for the offer, though. You are runner-up squared. Oh my god, what? Must be the lawn mowing service? Yeah. I'm scared for Poconaldo, though. You're about to put yourself in a Ferrari sandwich. I don't know if that's the place you want to be. I don't know why anyone would put themselves in this position willingly. Right now, Cecilia is moving forwards with, I guess, aggression rather than anything else. Yeah, failure right now is kind of putting this one in the bag as corners do pit. And we have a virtual safety car. Bowling and David has had a bit of a hug. It's a full safety car.
There's a yellow flag now.
Let's go bowling. Yeah, I think that one's on the RB, I'm gonna have to be honest. Bowling tried to give him so much space there. And at one point, you can't really give him more. That is unfortunately the birthday boy out of the final race of the season. It is very, very unfortunate, but that is just how the cookies crumble. As the constructors, RB is currently winning that one too, by quite a lot. Constructors, as it stands, yeah. Why would you do this, game? Man has literally DNF'd. You might have a mechanical failure. Oh, damn. But yeah, constructors here. RB has a pretty healthy lead at the moment. Williams is slated to finish 8th if things remain as they are. A point behind both Ferrari and McLaren, which would be peak hilarity for the runner-ups. But yeah, David has apparently acquired a mechanical failure alongside a mechanical wreck. Heiser has gone into pit lane here. I assume everyone will. Who is going to have a mechanical failure in the pit lane? Clean stop there for the Red Bull. What about the mechanical failure? Clean stop there too. Jimmy Bly, what are you doing? Master is staying out. Bowling actually ate the penalty for that. I felt like Bowling did pretty much all he could to ensure that did not happen. Miedo and Bly here are winning out massively, and honestly the Haas are being ballsy staying out. They'll take that. Merchant into 8th here, Cecilia in 9th. And honestly, this safety car kind of hurts Cecilia more than anyone else, judging by what we are seeing. Hard tie till the end. Is it viable? I don't think so. It's a pretty fast still. But 40 laps, it can be done. Can the AI do it though? It's a different question. This is gonna cause some tire wear issues later. That is hilarious. So now, hell, what is Haas doing? Haas is trying to get back into the mix here, and if things stay like this, which isn't that likely, you can see both Mercedes and Sauber jump up the order quite aggressively. And in the drivers, Charlie Master would end up 3rd, Bolo 4th. Of course, this is before we add any extra points. We'll have to see how this works out, though, because I think the Haas are just going to be moving chicanes. They have so much more tire wear than the cars around them. But they're basically just going to be they're basically just going to be big blockers more so than anything else. Master gets off cleanly. Is unused. Hard tires only to Master 2. Could end up basically holding up the entire grid. But we will have to see here how this is going to go. We have to be ahead of Sauber. I will not accept anything else. Master decided to stay with used hards to ruin everyone else's hards and thus get an advantage towards the end. What's Haas' fault? I don't know. You tell me. Has Haas committed a crime? Master has run wide on turn 12.
Take a look here. Heading on to Junsao. And they just can't keep on the track.
That is one way to describe that as running wide, yes. It is in fact true. Mourinho with damage with used hards is kind of just holding everyone up. You can already see the gap starting to fall, man. The fact that Cecilia, the second she gets by, immediately opens up a 2-second gap and catches up to the cars ahead. Mourinho will be the big problem child right now for everyone trying to get into the top 10. Tess takes fastest lap at the moment. The Master is starting to fall backwards. It is making life a little bit harder, but the Saubers have returned with a vengeance. And right now, Master is holding up the other Mercedes, but is let go pretty quickly, so no big deal there. The question is, are we going to see a terrorist attack on failure? You're in a Sauber sandwich. They've done it before, they'll do it again. This could get a little interesting in that regard. Please no. Please, sir, may I not have a terrorist attack? We don't like those. Immerator on a mission. We need the best angle for this lockup that is to come at the end of this straight. Do it. You missed. Try again. You failed. You need to try again. Did we win the championship yet? No, but it's extremely likely that you will get the championship this season. Even more jinxing has arrived. You have been knocked out of this race though, David. So currently, there's just one RB that is trying to secure it without a doubt. There is a mathematical possibility that you lose this, but it requires some pretty improbable things to happen to, well, to happen. Yellow flag to see the water boy giving up on life. Must be the water. Has locked up and been sent to the Shadow Realm. Need to watch those track limits. Dude's in the on the neighboring track while the commentator says that. Immigrant up to second as it stands. Must be the lockup, yes. Where was this since the test race? I don't know. Just finally woke up, I guess. Currently, though, there is still a lot of trains. I think at this point, everyone is still kind of locked in for one more pit stop. We could see Bly, we could see Kaiser, Failure try and go till the end of these. But I think they're going to regret that decision. I'm going to have to be honest. Following mechanic fault has evolved once again. Bit of a bad race here for both her and for Mourinho. Sometimes it just isn't your day. Corners is still praying that that mechanical failure does not get any worse. Born to dilly dally, forced to lock in. Please don't go till the end. Box, please. Ah, I see we've reached stage 1. Begging. Probably called her a clanker. What? What are you doing, what? Put on a softie. Soft tire till the end. That is doable, but it's basically going to be 30% by the time we get till the end of this race. And yeah, most cars are going to need to pit again here. No way around it. Fly might try and do something sneaky because they managed their tires. The rest there is basically locked into another pit stop. Bro, skip begging, went straight to pray. Stage 4 immediately. Well, to be fair, if people have watched this a lot, they do know that, you know, bargaining, all that stuff doesn't work. Just skip right straight to praying. It's the only thing that might work, to be fair. It's not exactly the wrong conclusion, if you will. Box, get me out of the McLaren sandwich. You are going to be stuck in the McLaren sandwich until you puncture. They are keeping you here trapped to use you as a safety car trigger. What is my purpose? You create safety cars. And if you stay out one more... No. Merchant did decide that, no, I don't want any safety cars. I'm pitting. Master does the same. The undercuts begin. Soft tire. Did they give Merchant a hard? No, that's a soft. Although, I assume there's going to be softs here for all of them. That does, in fact, seem to be the case here. Soft tire for everyone involved. Merchant and Master are going to try and chase down the top 10 here. They're 40 seconds behind the leader. They need to find 17 seconds if they want to undercut them. A little bit difficult to do, I dare say. If Alien's out of the points and the right driver doesn't win, that's still a solid save 5 acceptance. Obviously, if you guys can do anything to cause problems here, Sing now with mechanical fault. Did Cosby say anything silly again? Said safety car Merchant. I mean, they all know the fate of Sing now. He has been chosen. He will arrive before the safety car, shiny and chrome. Fly is probably going to try and go till the end, yeah. Fly is probably going to try and go till the end, yeah. That makes sense. Ocanaldo finally decides to take their turn to the pit lane. Remember, the longer you stay out, the more screwed you are. And we also have a candidate here for a puncture. Yellow flag. Who did the thing?
Right
It's Cecilia.
then, take a look now. Look at the Mercedes. And then the car just goes.
Lost about 5 seconds and decided to go to the pit lane. That's fair. Bailey now is also going to the pit lane. And corners, are you going to go to the pit lane? Are you going to suffer? Is it a double stack hit from the McLarens? It is. The McLaren double stack has once again appeared. Bailey retains third, however. And Liam now. It's all on you, son. Used softs here for everyone by the looks of it. That's not great. That's actually pretty bad in this situation. 15 laps on used softs. Basically 60% usable tire. It's doable if you run, you know, Lido conserve, the AI doesn't like doing that, so I wish you good luck. May your car not explode, I guess. Yo, my team could give me the points. Ronaldo finally happy with getting a single undercut done. The Alpines finally gave him something in return for his service. And then the car explodes. Just like it was foretold in the ancient texts. Currently though, if 2 seconds are gained, a lap, more than that actually right now for Failure versus Bly, Bly will not retain the lead till the end. It just isn't happening. Cast some black magic and give us an Abu Dhabi 2021. Sure, but the sacrifice will have to be you. You know the rules. If you want something, then you have to be the cause of it. Kaiser is pitting. Just as you said that. Soft tire here and gonna come out basically right next to Failure. So we'll have to see if Kaiser will be the one to take out Failure or not. But that is just a very, very slight amount of tire advantage. It's not enough, I'm going to have to say here. Also going to have to contend with Cecilia coming up from behind. Cece could have locked up and assassinated Mike, but instead she decided to be silly. So what is this then? Sillygate? Do we have a Sillygate moment? I'll take a look at it, Lando. Don't worry. I'll time you out if you're too rude. Honestly, I don't really time people out, but please behave. If you feel like it's too far, remove it. If you don't feel it, if you feel it's humorous and fair, leave it be. You'll be fine anyways, I think. Last lap, Kaiser. He's not giving up on Failure, and he's not giving up on this win. 10 laps to go. Needs to be a little bit of Schumacher in you right now and pull him to the Shadow Realm. But yeah, immediately outside of the RS as well. Pulling has more mechanical failures. Pulling has had more mechanical failures this race than Mike Anical failures had whole season. Not living up to their name. Did you just get a mechanical fault on top of your mechanical fault? I guess we're going to the pit lane. Unless Corners overtakes and blocks the pit lane entry. Just overtake but did not block the entry right there. Is your box early enough that you will not cross the finish line? I think it's in a borderline area. Pulling. Yeah. ERS gearbox. Only thing that was missing was the engine, and I'm pretty sure it just had a little bit of a moment because it went from 59 to 42 without an incident. So either the gearbox exploded, took it with it, or we had like a mini incident right there. Pulling has retired, and with that, one chance of a safety car is out the door. Liam is gonna try and go till the end here. The Alpines are doing the silly strategy. Jimmy can barely survive till the end as is, and Alpine has decided that, you know what, that's a good move. I want to try it too. I can't get runner-up, no one can. What, you're just gonna walk up to second place and throw them out the window or something? Bly is taking out Failure, according to my crystal ball. We'll have to see if that happens. Mike has had like one mechanical failure, or like rather he had two in quali, something like that. But yeah, he's been avoiding them pretty consistently this season. Give me your points. Well, right now you're being held up by your teammate. It would be peak irony if your teammate holds you up and then the McLarens come and get you. Van Lushing appeals against every driver who finished above him except for first place. True. Tyson now. About to get the lead here, but unfortunately with bowling being 16, I don't think it's really going to matter much. Liam Pitt, you're the number 1 driver at this team, Pitt. I think Poconaldo scored more points than Liam Lando. Let's see if that vision comes through as Singh now is gonna try and get Poconaldo. Liam is not finishing in the points this race unless he gets a red flag right now. Liam down to 10th now. Master is coming for the Merchant. Haley is coming for Bly, and Liam has had a puncture. The Alpine Curse rings through, and Nieto for once gets a clean pass on a punctured car. He doesn't lose a whole ton of time. And better yet, I think Floof even lost some time to it. So for once, a puncture actually goes Nieto's way. Failure. Yes, by Blind. The crystal ball that Blind would assassinate him seemed to have been mistaken at this point. It looks like the championship is settled at this point, going Failure's way. And if the standings remain as are, I believe Kaiser here has secured a pretty impressive second place. And, well, that is still good enough. Water gets a mechanical fault. Just to add a little bit more insult to injury for the Ferrari team. Please stand for something. The thing is here, fan, you just need to do this. Even if he DNFs, I don't think it's going to help you a lot. Because I think that actually just pushes Jimmy here above you again. Because Master is going to get you before the end of this. It has to happen. And yeah, Jimmy has 3 points also from Qatar that he'll be carrying over. Jimmy up to 3rd ahead of Immigreen. If Failure crashes, I'm pretty sure Jimmy Bly, if he stays ahead of Immigreen here, which will be a little bit difficult. Oh, fast left gets snatched there by Liam. No one's getting that one now. Final lap is upon us. Kaiser is firmly in the lead. Failure 2nd. Then we have Jimmy fighting for dear life against Cecilia. Those hard tires probably having a slight advantage right now, but DRS doesn't care. And we have Merchant, Master, Poconaldo, Singh, Tess, and Nieto. But the only real battle right now among the top 10 is Cecilia versus Bly. And those tires of both cars are basically shot at this point. And with that in mind, I do believe we are crowning a champion here. Kaiser does in fact win. Failure takes 2nd. Jimmy Bly gets 3rd. Immigrant gets 4th. Merchant 5th. Master 6th. Poconaldo will secure 7th here. Singh and Chance get 8th and 9th. Nieto gets 1 point here for all of the effort. That is, unfortunately, all they are getting here. Kloof 11th. Body 12th. We have Molo 13th. Horners 14th. Water 15th. Bowling 16th. Mourinho 17th. Liam 18th. Pulling and David 19 and 20 respectively, after they both DNF'd.
The RB driver with a momentous championship win. What a season they've had.
And with that, they join the illustrious list of F1 champions.
Well, Kareem, How do you think they'll be feeling in the team garage at the end of that?
It's not been the greatest weekend. Both
I
drivers
mean,
need
what do you
to
want?
step
I'm
up
done
and
with
show
this
what they
house
can
if
do.
we-
And the team have to be there to support them.
But yeah, congratulations. I believe we have our winners here. Even with Kaiser's valiant efforts here. That just isn't enough. Mechanical failure is still taking the win here. Just no way around it. There'll be a little bit of swapping back and forth with the other positions due to adding the Qatar points. But I am pretty sure that RB here is undisputed champions. Mike is our driver champion. RB is our constructor champions because, let's face it, the gap here is bigger than the points you could score in Qatar as a team anyways. So RB takes both titles in Season 7. Congratulations. Thank you to everyone who participated. I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun. Apologies that it took me like a month to get this done. Probably longer than that. But hopefully life will be less busy going forwards. We'll have to see. But I believe Justin will be doing the honors of adding up the numbers for me. If not, I'll do it myself in a little bit. But the important part is that Mike did in fact win. And our runner-up merchant finished 3rd instead of 2nd. The irony is impressive. Let's just put it like that. Constructors done. We have RB winning. Red Bull is 2nd at the moment, but as I said, we need to add the numbers up, see if this might change. Honestly, with the exception of RB and Red Bull, the rest of the teams have had a pretty close season, I dare say. So we'll have to do a little bit of math, and then we'll post the actual results in Discord. You can stay as Alpine's number 4 driver. Damn, you're really, really generous, I see. Merc got his best result a little bit too late. Didn't really capitalize on the car. You basically had the best car for the second half of the season, Benevia, or rather Merc did. And it just didn't get capitalized on, to be fair. I will do the honors of hating on Alpine again. Drives ahead of you in the Alpine rankings are me, Edson, even nearer. But yeah, this was the finale. In fact, it was in fact that. Yeah, Sao Paulo was our final race of the season. Everything has been done. Ferrari does win the fastest pit stop. There's just no contender there. Alpine gets 2nd. Sauber gets beaten by 1 point. I don't have the data for the fastest pit stop championship. But at least Ferrari won something this season. Not really what they were hoping for, but they won something. With that said, as mentioned here, RB wins. Mechanical failure is our champion. And if Justin doesn't, I'll sit down and edit, or rather add the points together myself. And then we'll figure out who finished where. With that said, again, thank you all for participating, for being a part of this. I appreciate it. But I will have to end the stream here. I need to do a couple of real life things. And then I'm going to, again, check the tally. Thank you all very much for watching, for participating, for everything. If you haven't already, like, subscribe. And I shall see you next time. Bye-bye, everyone.